Welcome back. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to my G's. Welcome back to another day, the 26th of March. It's a beautiful Thursday. Let's talk about the market. Is the chat working? Is the chat active? Or do I need to shake you up with some bangers of tunes? Let me know what you prefer. Good to see you all. Welcome back. I think we're live. Let's see. The chat has been pumping. We're back in action here, and I'm super pleased to host you on a daily basis here and to just do what we do best, and that is to help you guys out as much as possible to hopefully inspire you to become a better version of yourself, a better trader, and of course, be consistent and have fun during the process. I think that's the most important part, to have fun throughout the overall process. Okay, good to see you all. Let's see if the chat is active. Let me go to the chat here. I think other things are working. Let me see. I think we're live. You never know in Bali. Let's see where we are. Yeah, I think we're live. Right? Yes. Amazing here. Profit, my man. Good to see you, Chris. Liberated. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the streams. SU57 says, yeah, Xavier. Yes, cinematic. Hola, desde España. Well, congratulations. Amazing to have you here. Ryu, the big one, the big boy, the big G. Absolute pleasure to have you here, like Dominic as well. Yes, a nice bounce from yesterday's level. Yeah, we're going to cover all of this today. Look at where we are right now, man. Look at what happened yesterday. Look at that bounce. We saw indeed a bounce of around 55 points. I expected a bit more volatility, to be honest, but hey, we cannot control the market. This is why we're going to talk about everything. We're going to just make sure that right now the chat is live. Oh yeah, there we go. I think it's some time for some warm-up tunes. Let me know if you guys are ready, because you guys know we're here in Bali here. I don't go to the beach clubs anymore. I'm too old, too tired of these beach clubs. I've seen too many beach clubs. I can't take it anymore. But we can bring the party to our place. What do you guys think about that? Yeah? I think that's a good point. Let's get the party started. It's gonna be a beautiful session. I can guarantee you that. Better than yesterday. Yes. One more. It's Thursday. It's almost weekend, okay? One more. And then we promise we start. We promise. I promise. Welcome back, DJ. Good to see you. right. I think this has the blood pumping a little bit, the energy flowing. You need to be in a higher frequency in order to perform better, okay? So we're gonna get your frequency up first. Then we're gonna go into some logic, data, some analysis, and making sure that you are at least, fired up before you actually get the party started, okay? One more time, good to see you, Mikael. A lot of new people here today. I'm very pleased to see you on the live streams here. We've been growing really, really fast, man. This is episode 13 of the live trading streams here that I do from a Monday to Friday. I go over the open. We go into gold here. This is our beautiful, most lovely instrument. We love to trade gold here on the streams. This is what we're focusing on. Sometimes we watch the Nasdaq open if gold is really boring, but overall, gold is our way to go here. Let's isolate and focus, okay, especially during these market conditions. But I really, truly appreciate all the support and love here. If you guys can do one thing for me as always, this is the only thing I'm asking from you guys. You guys know it, right? Just to smash up that like button, right? That's the only thing I'm asking here. I'm here to put in my work and effort for you. I truly want you to be a better trader. I truly want this. I'm enjoying this so much. It holds me accountable for my work, my effort. I become a better trader because of your feedback as well. It's a win-win situation, okay? It's a win-win for both of us. If you can smash up that like button, that's the only thing I'm asking here. This helps the channel grow, and as you guys can see, it's working. It's working, okay? So I really, truly appreciate this. So what we're gonna do now is we are gonna go to gold. All right, but let's talk about what's going on here, because we are at a very important level right now. A very important level right now. We talked about this level yesterday, okay? We had an area of interest in mind. Let's go to the big screen. And that was around here. And we did see some bounce. We did see some support. But look at what happened when this morning, I think, after Trump's speech, etc., we had the Asian session, and pre-London, we started to come down to our major zone here, okay? Our major area of support. This is what we talked about already, that there would be a potential scenario where we would come down back to our higher time frame area, our higher time frame support, which I'm going to talk about right now, and why this is such an important level to pay attention to. Because in my opinion, this is the zone, this is the level that will make all the difference when it comes down to what gold will do over the next coming days or even weeks ahead of us here, okay? Is this a legitimate bounce? Was this a true bounce that we're gonna see here? Or was this all just a big flush for a small correction to then just follow through back to the downside here, right? This is the main question of today, because we are at a major area of support, and I'm gonna back this with some order flow data as well, so you understand the importance of this zone. A very important level, okay? This is not just me talking randomly, some fluff. No, this is from the real data that we can see in the order flow on the higher time frame, where we can conclude that this is where a significant amount of volume has been executed in the past, okay? And therefore, it becomes by default relevant to us right now. We can see that gold is bouncing, okay? We are not in the trade yet. Be paying attention to what's going on here. I'll tell you exactly in a second why I am not in a long yet, right? Because there are some criteria. There are some things that need to happen first in order for me to feel comfortable about getting into a position. But you guys will get it over time, hopefully, once I go through the full breakdown and analysis here, at least on the higher time frame first. And then, of course, we move down to the lower time frame. And then we go to the dollar and we look at the overall market, what has been happening today in general, what's the sentiment like, right? Very important for us to understand this. And then I truly believe that we have the foundation for the upcoming trading session, or the current trading session for the next couple of hours. I think that makes the most sense, all right? If you agree with me, then smash up a like or press a yes in the chat, and then we can get the party started, because we have a lot of work to do right now. We really have to be serious. A lot of nice music today, as always, but some serious work as well today, okay? We have some serious work to do, because this is a true breaker or maker here, a maker or breaker for us, that will determine our potential bias for the next coming days ahead of us is here. This is a very important zone, so we need to pay a lot of attention to how buyers and sellers are reacting around this level specifically. I already marked out the point of control of this range. This is where we bounce from. That's not really a surprise. I did expect a reaction from it. But now the question is, will there be follow through? Okay. Will there be follow through, or will there be, just an absorption from sellers, and sellers will take over and control price? That's the real question of today here. Okay. So let's get to the higher time frame first. Let's see how we opened today. Okay. Because we can clearly see that we opened up quite, I would not say bullish. We came down, we set in a topic, and we flipped bearish actually. Okay. So we do have to take that in consideration here. I'm going to start off on the weekly time frame as always, so you have the full understanding, because you have to understand a lot of new people join the streams every day and they need to see that full breakdown right from the beginning, so we at least are all on the same page when we do our actual trading session here. When we look for potential setups in the market, we need to be all on the same page here. So we have that weekly support level. This is a demand zone. Okay, if you want to learn about demand zones, right, or supply and demand zones, and you want to learn about the volume analysis, which I'm going to talk about in a second here, we already talked about the point of control, then you need to download the book. Okay, it's in the chat, someone will drop it, explanation mark ebook. Okay, and then you will get the link to the book that you can download for free. Okay, the reason why I created this book here is to give you some free information as well, so you have a something to work with when you watch the streams, so you can kind of understand it. I can then relate back to this on the streams as well, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about, so you have some straight up examples for this. Okay, that's it for that. Now we can clearly see that the point of control is a very important level. We'll see, you could learn about this, and if you want to learn about supply and demand and the real supply and demand and how it actually works, okay, not just a simple order block. No, what is supply and demand and how does it work in the marketplace? You can read this from page number 142 onwards. All right, now going back to the gold chart right here, then what you can see here is we have our weekly area of demand, and we got respected by that. That is in essence where we bounced from. Okay, a weekly area of demand here. Now, is this a strong demand zone? In essence, you would say not really, because we could close above this wick. But you see the reaction, you see that there is some support, and I'll still mark it out as an area of support regardless. Now on the daily time frame, okay, we can see that the trend has been bearish, and we have finally seen a reaction to the upside here. We have finally seen some sort of bullish momentum, but today we're seeing, at least for now, a pullback again. Okay, so this is something that we kind of expected. We expected the pullback. This is why we wanted to buy lower. Yeah, we didn't want to buy breakouts. Yesterday we talked about the scalping setup that you could have taken from the 62s to the 75s. I hope you closed that trade, because that was the absolute top. Okay, that was the top, and we actually came back down after that. So we have that daily support sitting at the 44.06. You can actually see this very, very clear right there. This is daily area of support right there. We have been reacting from this level multiple times in a row. But this is by default a very important area of support right now that we cannot neglect, right? That is the 44.6 right here on the chart as well. So we have to mark out this daily level. Now, then we go to the 1 hour time frame, okay? And now we have something very interesting, okay? Because we're now back at a major range that we've created before, right around here. And this is what we know, a range where a lot of selling occurred, okay? A lot more selling than buying. A lot more selling than buying. So this is where a lot of sellers got stuck, got trapped in their position. So how do we utilize this? We go to the 50-minute time frame, okay? And we mark out the range with a tool called the fixed range volume profile. We mark it from the left to the right here until the breakout. And you can see that this daily level that we marked out in the higher time frame aligns perfectly with the point of control, the red line, on the lower time frame. Okay? But this is also a daily level here. So we're going to turn this level into a daily support plus the point of control. Now, if you want to know what the point of control is, you can learn about the book here. We can talk about this on the stream later on. If you have any questions about it, just reach out to me in the chat. I'll get back to you. But this is a major area of support that we expected. And we're now seeing a bounce from it. But like I said before, we don't see the follow through yet to the upside. And I'll give you a reason in a second why that is the case here, okay? Now, going back to the order flow, okay? Because this is something that we use as an additional layer. We utilize different tools, right? And order flow is one of those that gives us an impression of how much selling took place and how much buying took place during a specific day, multiple hours, a specific hour, a 50-minute candle, etc. So we can actually see at that moment who is in control. Is it buyers or is it sellers? Now, what we can clearly see here from a Monday, okay, this is the Monday candle. And in essence, this is this range. This happened all on a Monday, okay? Let me actually chill. There we go. We can actually see very, very clearly right now that we have a lot of trapped sellers here, okay? And why are these trapped sellers? These are trapped sellers because there is a much more selling action or selling price action and buying that took place here. And this is why right now we are in that box right there. And we are seeing buyers stepping in. Do you see that, guys? Let me know if you understand this. Right? There is more green than red here. There is more red than green here. So there was more selling here. There were more people pressing sell market there. There are more people pressing buy market here. Okay? So this is a very important thing to take into consideration because right now in these sellers, these trap sellers, which is this range, we're seeing buyers stepping in here. Okay? So we are seeing a reaction from this level, which we definitely expected. We definitely expected some sort of reaction. So now we have to take that to the 4 hour and say, okay, a lot of sellers that were trapped. We're seeing buyers stepping in, but there is still some selling activity. There are still sellers active in the marketplace right now. So we're not fully out of the works yet. There is still selling pressure, okay? And why is there selling pressure right now at this current moment? The reason why there is selling pressure today on gold is because if we look at the other instruments in the market here, okay, we can clearly see that things like oil today are relatively strong. Oil has been coming up very, very heavily today. Look at that, 4% for oil, okay? The dollar has been pushing up with oil, right? Look at the dollar has been coming up today. The 10-year yield has been pushing up today. So the sentiment is very, very clear today, and that is that when oil is strong, the dollar seems to be very strong. They seem to be heavily correlated to each other. And that has a negative impact on the metal sector. So including gold, including silver. It could have a negative impact on Bitcoin. It could also have a negative impact on the euro, etc. Okay, so the petrodollar is all linked to oil at this current moment. It's all about oil, right? We all know this with the war. So this will have an impact on the metal sector as well here. So a strong oil, okay, tends to give us a more weaker, as you can see here. Look at the opposite here. This is oil right here, range, breakdown, expansion. And look at gold right there, the opposite, right? We're seeing price dropping. So we understand that that is super important to take in consideration right here. And this is something that we cannot really neglect at this current moment here, okay? Now, there is selling pressure, but we are at major support. Higher time frame support, okay? So how do we go from here? Because is it now important to sell, to look for sells, or is it important to buy? Some people would say it's worth selling because oil is strong, the dollar is strong, and that makes sense. But other people would say we are in a major support, right? We are at an extremely important higher time frame zone here, and we're trading above critical areas, all right? This means that if buyers, right, are not able to push price higher, we might break down, correct? But if sellers, right, are not able to sell into that higher time frame support and we're just seeing an absorption of these sellers and price is unable to come down, then this also doesn't mean necessarily that price has to come down here. So we are at an incredible important level right now, okay? An incredible important zone. I hope you understand why this will determine how and what will happen to gold over the next coming days ahead of us here. Because I'm already going to tell you this here. If we hold here and we bounce from here, okay, and we come up, this is a perfect retest where we could confirm a higher low, right? But if we manage to eventually break down and we turn this into resistance right there, that will be a big problem for gold, okay? That will be a big issue for gold. Because if we break down and we close the daily candle below this, and we manage to pull back and we formulate resistance, then we most likely will go for the weekly lows, which is all the way down right here in this area at this current moment here. So this is why today's important level is such an important level to pay attention to, because if you don't really understand the value of this level, then we can also not understand the upcoming days ahead of us here. I hope that makes sense here. So let me know if you guys understand this so far, and then I'll move exactly to the plan for today here, okay? Let me know. I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page, because this is where we are here for. We're here to learn. We're here to get better. We're here to give you an objective overview. No conspiracy, right? Just straight up buyers versus sellers, high level or higher time frame zones, and then lower time frame levels right here. That's pretty much it here. Now we cannot neglect what is actually happening in the marketplace from that perspective. All right. So let's talk about this right here. Okay. We can clearly see the following right now at the moment here. If we go to the lower time frame, this is my current plan here, because right now we are at higher time frame support. I think this makes all the sense in the world here. The fact that we are in a major zone. So selling into this resistance, into this support is, in my opinion, not the best solution right now. Okay. If we wanted to sell into resistance, we would be selling today, let's say in the morning when we were unable to break out, or higher when we were going to an area of resistance right there. Okay. So selling to me is not really at this moment the best solution, but buying is also a 50-50 play, right? So we need to wait for a certain confirmation. Now I'm going to show you right now what that confirmation is going to be like. Okay. And this is why we're looking and waiting to see how price reacts here. Okay. So right now on the 4 hour, we are still in a major zone. If you take this to the 1 hour, then we can actually see that we bounce also from an area of support here. It's all connected, but we can see right now over the last, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, we are seeing a lot of sellers stepping in here at around 3 a.m., right? This is the London opening candle, the hourly candle of the London session, okay? This is where a lot of selling took place. Now, clearly, that opening of London so far has been holding us back from breaking out, okay? So it's that 3 hour candle, or sorry, the 3 hour, right? Candle right here. Let's go to the 3 hour and the hourly. Right there. Not the 2 hour, it's the 3 hour. Let me just make sure that this is, there we go. That candle right now has been holding us back the most, right around there, okay? Why is that the case? The reason why that is the case here is because if you go back to the order flow, you can see that there are a lot of sellers there, and these sellers are trying to push price down here, but they are unable to follow through as well because we are in higher time frame support. So right now, what is happening here? You can see it already on the hourly candle. You can see that buyers are trying to push up price, but sellers are stepping in here again. Okay, so my question to you now, if you understand the order flow a little bit and you have been watching the streams here a little bit, do you think it's wise right now to step into buys? And do you think it's wise right now to step into sells? Just let me know. Okay, let me know what you guys think here. Clinton says, can you switch the screen? Yes, sir. Monday to yesterday were straight buys. Now a short-term sell. Weekly RSI needs to come down and daily RSI needs to go oversold. Yeah, we have to talk about the valuation as well. That is another way here. Cross the action says right now, it's nothing, just wait. Be patient, neither, just wait. Just wait. This is why we have the best chat, guys, because you guys are serious. You guys are absolutely serious. You guys are professionals. I can see it already. And incredible responses. So thank you for that. I agree with you, okay? We need to see what happens here from an order flow perspective. We need to see if buyers are willing to take control, okay? And in order for us to take control, we need to at least break back above the 44.55, in my opinion. That is where the sellers during London session actually took control here. So if we can close above that, that will be considered, in my opinion, a very good setup, okay? Now, it could be that people are going to short here, all right? And it could be that eventually shorters are trying to push price down. But because we're in higher time frame support, we just talked about it, right? We will not have a lot of room for error either, okay? So this will make all the difference in the world. I've marked out the 44.10 as our major zone for today, our major level for today. This is where the real battle will take place between the buyers and the sellers. but also around the 44.53. Okay, so I do believe that a breakout is a simple confirmation for continuation. That's what I truly believe today. If we can close above this, I believe that I'm confident with looking for the continuation buys here. Okay, and selling is, in my opinion, a bit tricky because even though, you know, it could flip bearish, we are in major support right now. Major support right now. Okay, so in order for me to feel confident about selling, I think we need to break lower. We need to break below the lows. We need to pull back. We need to finalize some structure, some resistance here. Yeah, then I'm willing to target the weekly lows right there, right? So I am willing to short it, but not now at this moment. I think we're still a bit too early to say this when we reach major support, right? I always say don't try to short into major support. Don't try to long into major resistance unless it's your take profit. That's pretty much it. So right now on the hourly time frame, we're trying to see how price develops and how price responds here. And if we manage to break out and close above the opening of London, and we do see a closure there, I feel quite confident to see if we can get into some follow-up trades towards the upside right there. Okay, so a little bit of a pullback to yesterday. What has happened yesterday here? Well, we marked out our higher time frame point of interest. We did see a reaction from here. Okay, now I personally don't hold trades overnight because I never know what happens when the daily candle opens up. Okay, I never really know what happens during the daily candle. You know, Trump was speaking as well, right? We had all these things coming later on. So I didn't feel comfortable with holding trades overnight, but we did see a reaction from our initial zone. But I said it already yesterday, right? We could see a reaction, but if there's no follow through, yeah, we might come lower. And then now I marked this out as our zone yesterday. I actually see if I can find this. But that is exactly what we talked about as our potential analysis yesterday, right? Is if we can not manage to control price, because we don't have any idea what's going to happen next, right? With Trump and everyone speaking here, we can only control what we're seeing at this current moment, right? Then we have to take consideration that, you know, right there, we are now at a major level, and we can actually see right here if this could lead us to some follow through here. So we talked about these two zones right there. Let me see if I can highlight this for you, and then we have exactly what we need here. This was yesterday, okay? Right there. I'm learning. I'm still trying to get better every day as well. And I see how price could react. Now, initially we said here, we wanted to see reaction. We saw some follow through, but some bounce, but no follow through. And then we marked out this area right around here, right? As our next area, our next zone. And this is where we are right now. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. We bounced, but we had no follow through. We sold off. Trump was speaking. All these things happened. Always started coming up again. Now we're back at zone number 2. Okay? That's the area we are right now. That's just how the market works, right? Plan A, plan B, all right? Follow through, bias, risk management, and things should be fine here. And that's the way we take our, that's the way we do business here in this channel. Okay? So right now we're here exactly at the zone B that we talked about. And now the question is, are we gonna see follow through today? Yes or no. All right, that's the session for today here. I hope this makes sense to you here. And if you like this overall analysis, then smash up that like button. Pretty much the only thing I'm asking here. I'm doing this all because I just love the game here. I'm picking up the live streams again. This is episode number 13. I actually never streamed 5 days a week. You know that? I only streamed 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week at my top. I have been streaming 5 days a week right now. This is going to become a daily habit for me. All right, New York Open, 2 hours, 3 hours here with you guys, having fun, going over the major gold analysis every day and giving you potentially the best possible analysis that I can possibly give you. And then it's up to you to give your, to see if you align with me or not, okay? That's a whole other topic, but that's what I see. And hopefully we can go from there and we can give each other some feedback and move on that. All right? So right now, let's go and mark out our zone here. Let's go to the hourly order flow. I think this is by default the most important area because this is where sellers took really control here. The 44.55 is something that I'm watching very closely. That is something that I want to close above to. And I think that could actually mean that buyers here are in control. And I think that from that moment onwards, we could start looking for the push towards the top range, which is relatively speaking a 90 pip, 100 pip move, a 100 point move, sorry, right? A large expansion, speaking around 900 pips, something like that. It could be that we manage to get back to that zone if we close above that high, okay? Then the question will be, right, will there then be follow through, yes or no, or will we then sell off? It's a whole other topic, because this is where we got rejected earlier today. So we know that there is major resistance there, but that is also the daily high. That is also the daily high right there, okay? I hope that makes sense. So right here, I'm gonna mark this out right now as a relative balanced session, because this is the daily high and this is the daily low. If we break down, it becomes an unbalanced session, right? This could be another layer, but I don't really necessarily want to look for this right now. I want to look for a bounce. I want to see if buyers are willing to take control here, to step in, and to actually give us the confirmation we want to see here, okay? In case you guys are wondering, what is this platform? This is called the Xau charts. This is a platform that I've been using as an additional layer to my concept, which is called LTA Concepts. We wrote a whole book about this, and it has been helping us a lot with confirming who is actually in control here right when we break out. So we can kind of see if it's a fake out or a breakout, right? With much more confidence and conviction right around there. Okay. A lot of buying right now, clearly in this hourly candle, but sellers are willing to step in here all the time. And if sellers are here, yeah, there's nothing that we can do right now. We have to wait patiently to see if it can actually break out and then look for the confirmation right there, okay? At the same time, guys, why is there no certainty of a breakout here? Let me show you. You guys are probably already know what I'm going to show you right now. But, number one, okay, the dollar is pushing, is overvalued, so we might see some pullback later. But if you go to the, let's see if we can actually show you this. If you go to the gold valuation against the dollar on the 50-minute, look at where we are, okay? Look at where we are at this moment right now. I hope you guys are aware of this. We are more in the upper band right now. We're more overvalued than undervalued. So if we see the breakout, we will become overvalued, we will pull back most likely, and we will get into a long with a more undervaluation right around there, okay? I hope that makes sense, but that's the overall idea here. We want to only enter when we're undervalued. We don't want to enter when we're overvalued, because the chances of a pullback is just so much higher when we are overvalued, right? This has been proven to us on the streams over and over again right now. I showed you guys this at the beginning, but now you can kind of see, oh, yeah, it's actually something that we really have to pay attention to. But if indeed we are overvalued and we are in resistance, you know, we have to be very, very careful here. We're not anticipating a breakout until the breakout happens, okay? Then the question is, why not buying at support? If you think this could hold support, well, maybe we will. Maybe we actually will buy at support. Maybe I will get into a position here at the bottom, okay? But it all depends a bit on the valuation index, okay? I hope that makes sense, because as long as we're staying around here, I'm not that interested in buying yet, all right? So we are in the range once again here. Let's hope that gold doesn't do what it did yesterday. Yesterday, we probably had the most, yeah, you could almost say, driest session of the week. But right now, yeah, we're hopefully going to actually break out or expand. Even if it's a drop, even if we're coming down here, that's also fine for me, okay? As long as we just move the market today. That's what I want to see here, because that's where we can anticipate very, very well. Yeah, we did talk about a scalp yesterday, right? From the 60s to the 75s. If you took that trade, great. That was a good trade. I hope you closed it, though, at the 75s, because we knew the 75 was a major area of resistance here. Look at that. This was the 75s. Sellers took control. We tapped into this. This was around the, yeah, this was around the New York session, right? Right around here. And we said better to close your trade here when you enter here, because, yeah, you want to avoid getting trapped. You want to not anticipate a breakout. You just want to not be greedy at these current moments here. So that hopefully is a good lesson when the market is very flat. don't just hope for the breakout when you're in a position here, because in most cases it will not break out. Okay, it will just not break out. Just accept that and move forward. And then on the breakout, you can always enter again, or you enter all the way at the bottom. That is out of a different story. Okay. Yeah, similar for the 50-minute. The volume is okay. There is not much volume yet, so let's just be patient here and let's see what we can do here. But there we go. Great. Johnny says there's a lot of buyers at 44.03. There is a lot of buying at 44.03. Not 44.03. I'm sorry. Wait, let me see this. Actually, there was a lot more selling at around 44.03, but we're trading above this price here, so we're holding that support. Yeah, let's just hope that we can actually break out here today. That would be amazing. Or let's break down. This is also fine for me. Let's break down and come back into the range. I'm also willing to buy at the bottom here. Yeah, counter trend if that's needed, if that's the case here. We break down. Like I said before, we buy here. And yeah, we wait for the pullback, right? And the real move. So the manipulation before the actual move. Because this allows us to take and come down and then actually, you know, get into a buy, for example, at the lows. But it will be a counter trend trade then. So that means we have to adjust our risk a little bit. Any questions, guys? Let me know in the chat, please. Then we can go over this. Biker Bros says, let's make some money. Nice. Let me know if you like this analysis so far. We're going to give you all the insights from a different perspective. Okay? We have a couple tools that we talk about. Okay? I'm doing it over and over again on the stream because I think it's very important. Number one is, of course, we just talked about the higher time frame, supply and demand. This is basic premises of how markets accumulate and distribute on the higher time frame. Then from there onwards, we go to the higher time frame order flow, actually. We look at the actual buyers and sellers on the higher time frame. Who got trapped? Question mark. Who got trapped? Okay. Then we go to the lower time frame volume profile. We mark out our key levels. Okay. Key levels. We have our order flow on the lower time frame for the execution. Who is in control? Question mark. Right? Who is in control? And then we have these additional tools right here, which are called valuation and correlation. Right? And then market sentiment. Boom. Okay? Higher time frame supply demand. Higher time frame order flow. Buyers and sellers who got trapped. Lower time frame volume profile key levels. Order flow execution. Who is in control? Valuation, correlation. Okay? Gold versus dollar. Gold versus oil. Gold versus the 10-year yield. And what is the market sentiment? What has been happening throughout the day in terms of dollar strength, oil strength, right? And then from then onwards, we have two things: execution and risk management. Boom. If you combine these factors, my guy, you have a trading system. You have a trading system, okay? And you have a system that you can duplicate on a daily basis on one instrument every single day, okay? In different market conditions. Now, there are nuances to this. There is a lot more to this. This is why we're here on the streams as well, okay? But that's the core premises of a system that can work in your favor if you are consistent with it and if you are really willing to master it. Okay, if you're willing to master it, then I think you will be able to get there. I'm also willing to just continuously learning. And every day, pretty much every week, I learn something new. Something catches my eye. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. And I learn something. And I take it to the next day, the next week. And I go from there, right? And I talk about it with you guys. And you guys give me some feedback too. And that makes me better too. So very, very nice. LTA Foreman says, let's just wait until Trump is going to tweet some shit again. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's over. It's over. The war is over. You know? Thanks for the analysis, Lorenzo. I got a question. With the valuation index, if you always buy when undervalued and only sell when it's overvalued, does that mean you mostly trade reversals? Really good question. Not necessarily, because it all depends on the trend. Correct? It's not just reversals, it could also be pullbacks. But in most of the cases, you're right, you have to see some sort of pullback for it. Yes, that's correct. Okay? I hope that answered your question. It's usually a pullback play system. It's usually a limit order system. I agree on that. Yeah. Not always, but it's usually a pullback play scenario, which provides us with the opportunity to wait for the best possible entry, which allows us that even if we are wrong about our entry, that we're still able to manage the trade a bit better. Okay? So instead of entering on a breakout right here, you enter there and the market, boom, reverses and you got trapped. Now you're stuck in drawdown and you don't know what to do. But if you wait for the pullback, okay, where you believe that if you're undervalued, right, you can at least see some consolidation happening, right? Because that's how it works. Then at least you have the choice to think about, am I liking what I'm seeing or don't I like what I'm seeing? And am I willing to hold the trade or am I willing to just get out the trade, okay? And it's not always going to be perfect either. Nothing is perfect in this market. I just want to be very clear on that. But that's the overall premises of the idea of why I believe that not chasing the market, but being patient for the right setups is the most powerful. And when people say, and I laugh about this sometimes, to be honest with you guys, you know, when people say, oh, price is never going to get there, my friend, it's already left the station. Yeah, wait, just wait. Just wait. When you think it can't go back, that's when it pulls back, okay? We'll see about that. Yeah. If you ever come to Switzerland, you have a buddy here. Appreciate the explanation and analysis. Discovered you yesterday. Cheers to you. Amazing, man. It's fantastic news. Switzerland. Beautiful, beautiful summer, Switzerland. I love the summers there. Yeah. So tomorrow is Friday. That means that tomorrow we will go over all the breakdowns and all the analysis and the trades, etc. Right, the trading ideas. These are not only the executions on the stream, but also the trading ideas that we gave you, so to give you a transparent overview, right, of what has happened on the stream, what we were looking at for the right reasons, right? What were our criteria? Were we right? Were we wrong? So at the end of tomorrow's stream, we'll do a summary. And I like that format because I think that's a great way to learn, to reflect on the week. So we are all on the same page and we can close the stream and get back on a Monday, right? This weekend, I'm going to go to an island. A very beautiful island. I'm not going to tell you which island, but it's going to be a very beautiful island. White beaches, a beach house. I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah, so the volume right now is pushing, like, is holding up quite well. It's pretty stable, all right? But it's not enough for price to push higher or to break out yet. But the reason why I marked this arrow out to the upside is because that's pretty much what I want to spot, what I want to see, right? I want to see buyers taking control here because the higher time frame matters. And yeah, we have been dropping throughout the London session, which is very unusual because usually the London is very dry. So this might be the manipulation for the session, for the day, okay, the London. So I assume that potentially we could break above the London open, okay, and actually move a bit higher. But we'll see about the actual confirmation in the order flow if this actually will be the case today. Yeah. Tomorrow we have our Friday stream, right? We're heading into the weekend. I hope you understand that I will have to play a bit more music. I will be a bit more DJing because tomorrow is, of course, the Friday. I want to blend you into the weekend like never before. So you're hyped for the weekend. The weekend for me is usually the most boring time of the week. I'm not joking. The weekends are boring for me. Usually I'm like, what should I do now? What like, okay, it's weekend. Okay, no charts, no markets. Like Bitcoin is not moving. It's never moving in the weekend. So I'm like, okay. An island maybe, or a boat trip, or a, I don't know. Is it Monday already? Yeah, again, a lot of selling here. Right, again, right? This is the hourly candle. Look at that. The red box above means that more sellers stepped in. So there are still sellers in the marketplace. And on the 50-minute time frame, you can see very, very clearly that there is a lot of top wicks are getting created here. So besides my personal opinion, right? My entry, okay, which I'm gonna take at some point, hopefully today again, if there's volume. There has been a lack of volume in the New York session, especially yesterday, and hopefully today we see more volume. But what I will give you is the opportunity to scalp as well in between that. And at this moment, I can clearly say this selling pressure right there on the lower time frames, okay, and with an overvaluation might cause a pullback. Okay, I can see this already in the order flow right now. Look at all that selling at the top right here. We're flipping bearish. There is a chance we'll pull back down towards the, let me see this very, very clearly, 44.15. 44.15, okay? Which is roughly speaking there, right about this area. Okay, so I do see a potential pullback into this. If, at this current moment, I don't see the buying power on the lower time frame here, and you can see this on the hourly as well. Sellers are stepping into the market right here. On the 50-minute, it's very obvious that sellers are in control right now. Okay, the 380 is where we're holding resistance. We are also seeing that we have that hourly candle there. More sellers are willing to step in. We need to come down to find buyers. That's what I think is happening right now at the moment. So I do see a little bit of a pullback right now towards the 15s. I would not be surprised. Okay. I hope you can kind of, see what I mean, right? We are overvalued. The dollar is, let me look at the dollar on the higher time frame. Yeah, we broke above a critical level here. What is a major area of resistance on the dollar? It's, of course, this zone right there. We have not reached that zone yet. So, yeah, we're struggling. Gold is struggling on the lower time frame here. Okay, it aligns with the sentiment of today as well. So yeah, it might be that we pull back to the 15s a little bit here. But it's, again, a small opportunity. A small setup, a small range. We're waiting for the larger move here. Hopefully today we'll see the actual move coming to fruition. Right there. Chris investors, I feel the same when the weekend starts. Yeah, tell me about it, bro. GBK6969, welcome, man. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome to the streams. Hope you're enjoying, or you will enjoy the streams over the next coming days. Unfortunately, we have one more stream tomorrow, and then a full trading week. Who has been watching here since Monday? Let me know. Who has been watching here since Monday? The full week so far. Have you guys been enjoying that? Let me know. Yeah, sellers, baby. Sellers in the short term. Yep, there we go. Look at that candle. Same candle, guys. 50-minute candle, 50-minute candle. Okay. Let me actually just hold this up right now. This is what we want to see, but this is the idea. Yeah, sellers are pushing. Okay, sellers are trying to push price down here right now. I will give you some quick scalps in between that. I'm just saying, but my trades will be. I have a very specific system. You guys noticed already. It's the larger expansion here. We sniped that trade on a Tuesday. Yesterday, of course, there was, you know, we were just in a range. So hopefully today we have some volume, right? That's pretty much the conclusion there. Yeah. When are you gonna do a giveaway, Lorenzo? We will be doing a bunch of giveaways in the near future here. I've been doing giveaways forever on this channel. Prop firm challenges, you name it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to give away some promo codes for the exit charts, so you can try it out for a month for free. I think you will learn a lot for it. I also exported the workspace, so you can actually see. I can export this right here. It gives you the gold workspace, and then if you open this, you have the weekly on gold here, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minute, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute in the right settings right away from the beginning. Bro, this took me, and I'm not joking, okay? This took me days to set up correctly. Days. Constantly tweaking for days, if not weeks. To have the right settings, to have the right candle structures, the colors, you name it. But once you have it, you have it. That's the truth. That's the truth behind it here. Why are you not promoting everything? Yeah, because I'm trading. I'm here to trade, my G. I'm here to trade. But I have to say, man, and I'm not joking. Ever since I started this new format, episode 13 now, the amount of messages I've received on IG about, look at that, we're heading to the 15s, man. Buyers are unable to push price up here. Ever since I started the format, the amount of messages I've been getting from you guys about VIP, mentorship, I'm like, you know, I'm holding it off right now, right? I'm like, no. Just here on the live streams. But man, the response has been top notch. You know, who knows? Who knows what we bring to the table in the future? You know, I have some ideas in mind. But no, let's stick on the live streams for now. But I have some ideas in mind. I will keep you guys updated in the future in case something changes. But we're going to be here on the live streams regardless. This is not going to change. We're going to be here for the next coming weeks. If not months, we're going to be here 5 days a week. I'm extremely committed right now. Yeah, too much selling pressure, right? If you see sellers at the top here and buyers trying to get in, but they're failing, yeah, there is not much happening here. We should find maybe some support on the lower time frame, but yeah, sellers are definitely holding up. And the main reason is because of the dollar as well, right? If we go to the 5 minute, dollar is ranging, and oil. Like, look at the oil. Oil is holding up really strong. And that's kind of the issue right now for gold. It's not the dollar, it's oil, actually. Oil is holding up gold a bit here. And if you think, oh, that can't be the case here. Well, look at gold here today. Okay? And look at oil here today. Okay? There is a connection here right now between oil and between gold. All right? Not just oil and gold directly, but indirectly, actually. Indirectly, there is a connection. There is a connection between those right now. Yeah. Do you think trading now is more harder than before the war? Yes, I do think so. Objectively speaking, I think it's harder. However, this is an incredible moment to learn, because if you can become profitable in these market conditions right now, which is definitely possible, you can see the opportunities left and right if you just patient and wait for the right opportunities and you follow the system, right? But yes, it is different than a couple months ago. No, for sure. Definitely. Tyrone, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. As you guys can see right now, we are at the 44.26. Before we were at around the 44.32, 33. Look at that, we're dropping, right? We talked about the resistance right there. Like I said before, pay attention to the 15, okay? The 16, the 15, the 16, right around here, okay? We talked about this. The 16 right here. Just gonna highlight the zone. Pay attention to that area. Quick scalping. Can we copy trade your trades? Yeah, well, in theory, yes, of course. We have been taking trades here consistently. It's just that the market yesterday was a bit flat. I'm giving, you know, some insights left and right. I show the order flow so you understand what's happening right now. Who's in control right now? If I take a trade, I take a trade for sure. I'm here to trade. That's the only thing I'm here to do. But it has to make sense. It has to make sense for me to trade, right? I hope you understand that. Besides that, you know, regardless what I say every stream, I'll make sure we have done a proper analysis again. Right? We understand the market. We're trying to understand the market together. And, you know, you will never leave this stream empty-handed, okay? If you take this serious. If you're really here to learn. And you're really here to take, you know, this analysis with you for the aftermath. Yeah. Sellers are trying. They're trying to push. They're trying to push here. A little bit of an absorption though. We do see this right now. We're seeing a little bit of an absorption on the lower time frame. But sellers are definitely trying to break down here. Clearly, look at that 5-minute candle here. We close below this. This will be potential resistance already. The 44.34. What we want is a break out of this range today, right? That's the idea. We want to break out of this range today. We are at higher time frame support on the daily. Major support here, major support. 4 hour, major support. Right, the 1 hour as well. We want to break out today, and I think that will give us a lot more movement here. We need to see price moving. We can start tweaking and scalping the range internally. And I'm talking about this now so you have an understanding of it, but yeah. All right, we have the hourly open though. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of a push up during the open. I never really trust the first move of the hourly candle. Never trust the first move of the hourly candle. Okay, I'm telling you this already. Don't trust it. Boom, look at that, right? Don't trust the first move of the hourly candle. Okay? And where are we? Where are we? We came as low as the 17s. Okay? We came as low as the 17s. Typical. We see this all the time. All the time. All the time. Don't trust the open of the hourly candle. Not right away. You should test it out. How many times when the hourly candle opens up do you actually flip after? If you're very data driven, that's a great thing to mark out. Because if it's a high percentage, right? If it's, let's say, every hourly candle during the New York session, you write down. Did we open bullish and flip bearish? Did we open bearish and flip bullish? If you get a significant result, then why not trading that? I'm just, you know, generating some ideas here to think about, right? Okay, however, right, if we manage to close above this in the 15-minute, we might bounce back again. But this 15-minute closure will be critical. We're in a range, so we know we have to wait for the range breakout today. Or, like I said before, we need to manipulate down. See a lot of trapped sellers here, unable to push price down, and then we'll buy when we're undervalued. And then we'll go back up and we create that CME play, right? That consolidation, manipulation, expansion. And I wrote this in this book. It's called the Fixed Volume Profile on page number 47. And it looks like this. This is where we are right now. The consolidation, right? You can see it today already, right now. The New York session. It could be that we do come down, get a lot of sellers involved, and then we look for a confirmation reversal where we buy against most of these sellers, and then we look for the continuation to the upside right there. So it could be that that could happen too. So either I am buying here because I want to buy today, or I buy here. Okay, interesting. Why not selling if we break down? Has all to do with the higher time frame. All has to do with the higher time frame. Yeah. Yeah, that was a quick one. A quick snipe to the downside here on the lower time frame. But yeah, strong open on the wick. A lot of volume as well. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this, if you look at the volume, the last 50-minute candle had 1.9k contracts traded. We are just trading for 5 minutes right now, and we have 10 minutes to go for the monthly, sorry, for the 50-minute candle closure. And we are already at 1.5 thousand contracts. So that means we are only 400 contracts away from overcoming the 1.9k in the last candle. So there's a lot more volume now coming in, okay? And this is what you want to see. A lot more volume coming in. So hopefully we manage to break out here. We're now in that box. Yeah, we're seeing that reaction here. I said the 15s. We actually came to the 17s. Not that far away, but yeah, we did react from the 17s, I guess. And now we're pulling back up again. Are we going to see the real move today? That's the question. Yeah, that is a reaction. That's a reaction that you want to see. Now, taking this back to the hourly, this level is the major resistance right now. You can obviously see this already in the range. You don't need the order flow for this, but it's just to see and understand. Okay, and this is super important to see that. Are these sellers trying to push price down here or holding price down here, or are these trapped buyers? Okay, that's a very important nuance that we want to know. And the reason why is because if these were considered to be trapped buyers, okay, that means there is a larger seller absorbing these buyers, which means there is a larger player passively with limit orders trying to hold price down. That is significantly stronger, okay, than sellers trying to hold price down aggressively. Does that make sense? This is why a breakout could indeed mean not a fake out, but a continuation. And this is why I prefer to bet more on a breakout once the breakout is confirmed that it will not be a fake out than a manipulation. And yeah, I'm looking for that continuation to the upside right here pretty much. If we can actually break out, if the volume is there to break out, because we are already back in resistance right now, okay? That's what happens when we're in a range. That's what happens there. Hi, Lorenzo. Could you tell us silver contracts monthly position? You mean the monthly time frame? Gold insanely bullish on the higher time frame, question mark. Like I said before, this is where everything will make sense. This is where we will know if buyers are taking back control after this huge sell-off, okay? Each of these candles here that you see is a daily candle. Sellers to control here. Buyers tried to step in, they failed. Buyers got trapped, they failed, right? Price broke down. This was the biggest volume. Huge manipulation here. 327,000 contracts. Both a mix of buyers and sellers. Sellers got trapped here for the first time, okay? So now we're seeing the shift. Are sellers now trapped? Okay, that's the start of a reversal. Now we're testing these sellers as support. Now buyers are stepping in. That's the real question now, okay? Is this gonna hold support? If this is gonna hold support and we flip bullish, most likely we will be trying to get back up towards the 4,650. Most likely we will go for the previous daily highs. Most likely we'll try to break out higher, okay? So this is the maker or breaker, because if we fail to hold this level or hold this zone, this was just a short-term inducement, and the chances of us going back to the weekly lows is just significantly higher. So it's today is the most important day from my perspective of the week, and it will give me a very good understanding if I should be looking to short the market or if I should be looking to long the market, or at least on the lower time frame, look for more buying opportunities than sell opportunities. All right, so taking back to the 15-minute, yeah, same story as always. Buyers step in, sellers are at the top, buyers are trying to break through it. They're not succeeding to do so. So unless you want to scalp the 1 minute, you have to be very, very patient here. We had a quick scalping opportunity here that we just talked about, right? But we can definitely see the buyers are trying to take back control here. The question is, are we able to actually follow through? That's what we're really trying to know here. Okay. Stefano says, or just subscribed here. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And thank you for helping us with the likes on this channel, guys. That really helps us grow the channel here tremendously. We have 368 likes in the first hour. That really helps. It helps a lot. All right. Boom. We reached 114k subs as well here. Thank you, guys. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's just squeeze and let's break out. Let's move up. What I did like, though, and I have to admit this, though, at the beginning of the hourly open, you saw that quick spike, that quick manipulation. Yeah. That quick push down, up, down, and up. This definitely induced some trigger. This triggered something in the market. I could see it. I can see it. So the chance that we will break out here might be a bit higher, which I would love to see. A breakout today. Not a boring range, an actual breakout. If you can add supply and demand to your forecast, it might give better insights. We use the volume profile. Okay, the volume profile is, in my opinion, the most precise on the lower time frame, because it's a real volume traded in the market. But on the higher time frame, yes, we utilize supply and demand. It's a big part of our strategy on the higher time frame. I think the price of gold will come to 44.07. Why do you think, bro? What do you think? 44.07 is the lowest. Well, I'm not here to predict at the moment, okay? I can only tell you what I see right now, all right? So I cannot tell you we're most likely going to come down. When I give you guys these scalping setups and opportunities, it's because I see something very, very clear, okay? You can see something in the market where people took control, where buyers or sellers took control here, and where there's a big chance that we will revisit certain levels. At this moment, I can say for your question, is it possible that we go back to the 44.07 eventually? Well, as long as we're unable to break above these areas where we are right now, again, it's the same thing again, guys. It doesn't stop. You could scalp your way in here again. I mean, look at the hourly candle. Okay. Look at the hourly here. Right there in the exit charts. Again, sellers are coming in immediately at the top here. But at some point, it's enough. At some point, we're going to squeeze out, right? At some point, sellers are just unable to break down and the buyers are going to take over, or vice versa. But the dollar is weakening, right? And this is an important factor why we use something like the dollar to understand what's happening on gold. Because if the gold is now pushing up and the dollar is coming down, this means that there is going to put, in this case, more pressure on the sellers that took control here, okay? So this is why the difference with the last hourly candle, I was saying, hey, this is a shorting opportunity, a quick scalp to the downside. Right now, I would say, be careful because the dollar is dropping. All right, if the dollar is dropping, okay, and oil is dropping, okay, we're going to see much more selling pressure, as much more buying pressure coming in, which is actually an area where you should be a bit more careful with shorting to scalp. We're trying to scalp the top of the range because this is where shorters can get squeezed out of the market right here, okay? So we're really paying attention now to the to the scenario here, okay, of what is actually what's actually going on. But be careful with gold right now if you're a scalper and you're trying to short it at the top of the range, because it might be a reaction now. What is the biggest lesson in terms of trading for you? Well, let me put on a song so I can actually enjoy the process. Is it this one? One second. Let me wait for the beat. Yes. Okay. My biggest lesson, all right, one of the biggest lessons I had is that you need a trading system. You need a system, guys. Come on. We need a system, okay? A couple of... You don't have to overcomplicate it, by the way. It can be a very simple process. We have a couple of confluences that you look for. And if these confluences align, you take action. If these confluences do not align, you don't take action, okay? You need a system. You can't do things randomly. You can't go off of your intuition, your feelings, because this is how the market is built on. The market is built and driven by emotions, by feelings. So we're most likely wrong when we're looking for our feeling. I feel the market is going to go up. I feel that the market is going to go down, right? Intuitively, you might have seen certain patterns, which allows you to actually say this with clarity, but that comes from having a system in the first place. So having a system, I think, is that's the most important, okay? Having a good training system is the one thing that helped me tremendously. But I'm still working on it also. I'm still trying to perfectionize the system as well. So also for me, right? It's work in progress. It's constant work, constant progress, constant optimization. And whenever I say, oh, I'm there, I made it. Okay. No, I'm not there. I haven't made it. There's always more to learn. There are always reasons to get better. It's a never-ending process. And we have to accept this too. Because the market is changing. The market is adapting. And so do we. We need to adapt. We need to change as well. So the biggest mistake that I made in the past was telling me that I was there, that I made it already, that I already got it, that I know how everything works. Okay? And when I see someone in the chat saying, it's going to happen, this is going to happen, watch me, or, you know, people saying, oh, I'm better than you, or in terms of the other people, so someone lost a trade or someone is trying to show off how good they are. Just wait, man. Just wait. People get humbled very quickly in this game. And I got humbled many times as well. So all right, so buyers are coming in, but this is our zone. On the 15-minute, this is where sellers are stepping in. This will be resistance, okay? Look at this red zone right now. Let me just clarify this for you. Red box. More sellers than buyers. Watch what price does. How do we react here? Okay, this is in that resistance there on the 15-minute. The dollar is holding some support here. Oil is holding some support at the moment. We might see some resistance coming in again on gold as well here. So let's see what happens. Yes, it's turning red. Sellers are coming in. What I want to see is the breakout, right? I want to see the closure and breakout above the 55s. That's, to me, a game changer. If we can close above this, we're set. We're golden. For now, same level. Sellers are coming in again. Whenever we are here, what I look at right away is the volume. Right? What is the amount of volume traded here? Is the volume increasing? Is the volume decreasing? And if it's increasing, who is buying? Who is selling? Are there more buyers or sellers? If it's decreasing, again, are there more buyers than sellers? Well, it gives an indication if it could reverse. But right now, the volume is decreasing. Lorenzo, you stream the titles, gold and the NQ. You never really analyze the NQ. Give me some love to the NQ as well. We can do this. We can do this around the open if you want to. We can quickly go over the NQ, see what's happening there. Around the open especially. But gold is our baby here. Okay, hourly, come on. This is the first time when I see gold trying to break out with more conviction. And the reason is because the dollar and oil are slowing down. So is the 10-year yield. Look at that. The 10-year yield, or the government bonds 10-year, is dropping. This is all beneficial for gold. So this is why this time, we're still seeing sellers coming in, but this is why this time it seems like more sellers are getting absorbed. So this is why I would not say this time, like I said a couple minutes ago, it's time for a scalp short. This is why this time I say, my suggestion is to stay away from scalping shorts right now, because there is a shift happening here. What is the contract of the NQ? Let me see. NQ. NQ M26. Okay. Yeah, the NQ right now is... let's see where we are. Yeah, still in resistance. I will check the order flow in a second before the open. There we go. We're pushing higher. You see that? This is what I meant, right? So again, this time was different. This time it was not a scalp short, in my opinion, right? Do you guys see why? This is where the valuation, sorry, the correlation comes into play, right? So when we talk about our trading system on stream, we have rules, right? We cannot take a quick short scalp if the correlation shows us an indication. And that is the dollar is slowing down. Oil is slowing down. This is going to only help gold pushing up higher. So the correlation here says scalping gold right now is not the best idea. But 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, it was fine. Right? We could have taken that quick scalp towards the 15s. It's different now. We're in a different situation. So this is what I'm saying. Everything has context. Everything matters. And if we can quantify that, and we can say, okay, we have the variation, the correlation, we have the key levels, the higher time frame, lower time frame, and the order flow, we can spot this quite easily, right? So look at that, squeeze to the upside, right? This is why shorting was not the best idea here. We're now squeezing. This is what you want to see, okay? We're getting into where we held resistance pretty much throughout the whole London session. This is exactly why shorting there was not a good idea at that moment. In comparison to what we saw beforehand. And that was another layer. Now, why do I like this a lot? Well, let's say this 50-minute candle closes in 6 minutes and we close above this zone where all these sellers got trapped, where all these sellers entered market short, and we close above this. Guess what? These sellers are underwater. This could act as an area of support, but we haven't closed above it yet, right? This is why the 50-minute candle is so important, okay? That 50-minute candle closure is so critical, so key. Yeah, since I avoided that L, great. That's our goal. You know, avoiding losses is also a W. You know what I mean? Annie, good to see you. Avoiding losses is also a W. All right? So we had a quick scalp opportunity here. Now we avoided a loss or a potential loss. Like, what is next? What is next? Is the big move coming so we can finally execute something here? As well. What software and indicators do you use for the order flow analysis? This is called the Xau charts. I'm not promoting this officially. Okay, I don't make any money of this. It's just what I use. I like this the most. I find this platform very clean. It took me days to set it up, by the way. Days, not hours, days. It took me a long time. But it looks so good to me now, so clean to me. I recognize things super easily, super quickly. And this is the weekly, the daily. We're in daily support right here. Right? All these trapped sellers there. A lot more selling on a Monday than buying. And all the volume. What was also interesting about the Monday, super interesting. The most volume was actually, sorry, the Tuesday was traded in this area. In between the 44.28 and the 43.50. So it's very condensed. Anything around this candle is actually not much volume. All the volume was here. And this is where we are right now. This is why I'm saying, this is why we don't want to short as a day trade. We don't want to, we can scalp short quickly in a range, but we can't short it for a larger move down because we're in major support right now. It would be not smart to short here from a risk reward standpoint. It would be too risky. A lot of buying activity here. on the 4 hour. Dominic, you're the G, man. I appreciate your message. I'm so glad you're here today because I watch it with a heavy head. I admit I've been losing my determination and nerves for the last 3 weeks. Thanks for the music and for the total perspective. Amazing, Dominic, man. Yeah, I'm always appreciating you. You know that, right? A lot of love and appreciation for you. A lot of people are talking about the microphone. Is the microphone really low? Gamta Media says, bro, I'm finally profitable and get a payout. Amazing, man. Congrats. Congratulations, bro. If we break out here, guys, I have a really strong conviction today. And I don't say this a lot, okay? But I have a strong conviction today that if we break above and close above the 55s, that we break out, that we follow through here. Because we're in higher time frame support, we're seeing a lot of selling, a large absorption taking place right here. And the dollar and both the dollar and oil came up very aggressively as well. We are in that resistance here on the higher time frame. If we see the reversal and we see the breakout, I don't think it's a fake out. I really don't. You never know, right? You never know. You never know. But you can just see by the order flow right now how sellers are protecting the 45 to 55, and the 65 till 75, funny enough. But if we can break above at least the 55, I can see, hey, buyers are willing to come in here. Again, it's the same story. We're at resistance. Sellers are coming in. And again, if we can't close this 50-minute candle above this with conviction, it's gonna be another range. It's gonna be another range day. It's gonna be another rangey session. All right, it's low volume. Okay, well, let me see what I can do about this. Next time, I'm gonna make sure that tomorrow this will be. I will test it tomorrow. What will be your second best indicator if you don't have access to the order flow chart? I think the volume profile will help you tremendously. Observing candle structures very, very clearly. Ticks ups and downs, like how is price moving, right? I think it will help tremendously. It's a good foundation. I always say that the order flow is an additional tool. It is not a strategy. Okay, we did close above it, guys. So look at this. Okay, look at this right now. Can we flip this candle bullish? I would not be surprised if right here we flip the candle bullish. We're still at hourly resistance. Don't forget that. But this is a quick 15-minute. Let's see. Dollar is weaker. Dollar is definitely slowing down here. Okay. We tapped into that zone. We closed above it. What happens is you come back. You close above it. You tap into where the sellers were active. And now sellers are trying to step in. But we flip bullish. You see that? Look at that. That's an absorption. We call that an absorption firsthand. Right there. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean follow through, but you see how you react at this level, how you flip it. But we're still at higher time frame resistance. There's nothing really that we can do besides observing, but it's a very interesting learning process. How you tend to react here. But as long as the hour closure the hourly candle stays below the 54, 45, that's a higher time for resistance here. So also, top-down analysis on the higher time frame, order flow matters as well. The hourly, the 15-minute. But look at that. You're seeing that buyers are willing to step in here. There is an absorption taking place. And on the candlestick chart, it looks like this. We closed above this and we're now pulling back and we're holding this as support, right? But there's more selling here than buying. More selling than buying. Hourly. All right, I'm going to mark out the top process right now. So number one, we're in a balanced trading session. Again. Last time we were in an unbalanced trading session was last week. I believe Thursday. We're in a balanced trading session. While we're in a balanced trading session, we have not broken the daily highs and daily lows in New York. If we break the lows and we move down, we're unbalanced, right? If we break above the daily highs, we're unbalanced. This is how I can mark out my zone. Balanced trading session plan is see if we can close above the 4455. Higher time frame support. Yeah, same thing, same level. CDSO says, I hope you give us nice info, not like yesterday. I mean, I don't understand what you mean with nice info, but I think it's pretty nice information. Seeing the actual orders in the marketplace with some commentary, waiting for the setups. Doing our full analysis at the beginning and at the end. So you don't leave this stream empty-handed. And at the same time, showing up here for you 5 days a week. Nothing to promote you, just here to trade. And the music, baby. Sorry for that, but hey. Don't forget the music. Yeah, the volume has been really equally distributed right now, clearly. You can see how important that level is. It's unbelievable. The 55. So important. Where do you live? I live in Bali, man, already for a long time. I'm tired of these beach clubs. Okay, no more beach clubs for me. Sometimes maybe, you know, for some lunch, but nothing too crazy anymore. No more beach clubs for me. I'll bring the beach club to the streams. Okay? I'm giving you some real Bali vibes here. Oh man, the range. What's happening with these New York ranges, guys? Yeah, buyers are willing to come in here, but it's all about that hourly closure, man. Hourly closure above the 55 will change everything. Hourly closure above the 55s. That will give us the breakout confirmation. Because you think, oh, this can break out now. Yeah, it could. I mean, it could. The dollar is slowing down. Oil is slowing down. They're so connected with each other. You see that? Oil, the dollar, the 10-year yield. But if they are dropping so much, right? This is also something to think about. Like, if the dollar is dropping so much, and if oil is dropping, if the 10-year yield is dropping, why is gold not pushing, right? And that is because there is a seller active here. So that seller needs to be squeezed out of his position. And we're waiting for that to happen above the 55s. How much does this rent? How much does this cost to rent a place? How much does it cost to rent a place like this? Yeah, I need to make some good trades, man. That's the only thing I can say. I need to have some good trades each month. Clinton says, I'm going to start waking up at 1 a.m. local time to trade Asia. Hey, I've been waking up at Asia. Indeed, you are correct. The bigger moves happen during the Asian session. Absolutely. I remember a time. I really do remember a time where the Asian session was that on gold. Do you remember that time? Who cared about the Asian session? No one cared about the Asian session. It didn't exist, the Asian session. It's all about the Asian session right now at this current moment. It's unbelievable how the tide is turning here. Matter of fact, when I was trading gold live on stream, right here, years ago, okay? When I was trading Forex on stream, all right? Years back. Okay? Years back when my life was a bit different. Okay? I was happy with 200 pips on gold. That was a monster trade. 200 pips on gold at that time was a monster move. Okay? Monster trade. Today, 200 pips is an absolute joke in these market conditions. Things have changed, man. Things have changed. And there we go. Again, hourly rejection here. Quick absorption, but nope. We're back at it. We're back at it. Let's remove the noise and stay on the hourly time frame on the order flow chart because it's very clear. Sellers are still in control at this current moment. Sellers are still in control. Look at that absorption. To the downside, sellers are holding that back. They're protecting the 45s. Protecting the 45s. This is why we don't want to buy. And if you would be looking at the candlesticks right here, and you would see that breakout and that closure, what are a lot of people going to do? They're going to enter a buy right there. Okay? What actually happened was they let people enter their buy position. Sellers come in. And they push price down. So for us, that 55 level right here, I'm going to mark it out right now. The 55 is what needs to be broken for me to be confident about buying gold. Okay? Very, very confident. Now, am I willing to buy gold lower? I am. But for that, we need to get to some sort of undervaluation as well. It's very hard because the dollar is dropping and oil is dropping, but gold is not really pushing. So it's the range of the range, and we're waiting for that to see if we can actually break down. But again, this hourly order flow at least gave you hopefully the idea why I said that buying here is not a solution. Okay? And selling here was tricky, except for that short that was possible right there when we talked about this. That was a clear short because the dollar was still strong and oil was still strong, or at least pushing higher. But this is where buyers step in usually, yeah? And that's what you can see, that buyers are stepping in. There are more buyers than sellers. But if there are more buyers than sellers here, why is price not pushing higher? Trust me, man, we're gonna get into market conditions when the market is trending. You guys have no idea yet. I mean, some of you guys at the beginning will probably know exactly what we can do then. But man, you will see how that will impact the executions on stream. Oh my God. The ranges are very interesting to learn though too. So don't take this for granted. Please don't take this for granted. This is an incredible learning experience, because your job as a trader is to adapt to the right market condition. Crackling Head says, Lorenzo, did anyone ask you this? When losing a trade, where is all the money going to? I mean, it's a zero-sum game, my friend. So if you win, someone else... So if you lose, someone wins, right? It's a zero-sum game. If you win, someone loses. If you're happy, someone is crying on the other end of the screen. So sometimes we forget it here, but damn. Okay, finally. Can we close above the 55s? It's a closure. We have 50 minutes to go, right? We have a 50-minute closure to go. Zero says, I lost 25K in 6 months. Now I'm looking to recovery, how to start new. It's not about the amount you lost. It's about the system you have. It's about the system. It's about how bad do you really want it. I lost more than that, by the way. Much more than that. When I started out. So, yeah. I mean, how much does a 4-year university cost? It's probably a lot of money too, right? So, hey. If you can just use this instead of saying, I lost this, I lost that, I lost this. No. I invested this money into this. But make it being worth it, okay? Make sure it's worth your investment. The only way to do that is by having a plan, having a system, my friend, and executing on this, right? Don't waste your time. Anyways, I realized the same thing after so many losses, so much pain, so much, man, so many struggles, bro. It's you chose a hard job. You did. So hey, if you're a winner, you move on, man, and we'll move forward. Dollar and crude still going down. Thank you, Pat, for that information. Yes, you're correct. It's still dropping. So that's why gold is finally reacting to it. Finally, right? We're seeing something. for 55. There we go. 50 minutes to go for the closure on the hourly. This is going to help us because if this breaks out, we close strong. We will know if we can take a long at around 45, let's say. 45 in the pullback. But hey, hourly closures matter. That's something I really realized. I usually thought it was like, you know, I thought that, for example, right, if you see a range and you break out of the range, I really believed that when I started trading, that when we break out of the range, that if I would place a limit order in a pullback, that I would wait for the pullback, that I would always miss out on the trade. And then I realized that in most cases you see pullbacks, number one. And when you don't see pullbacks, yes, you did miss out, but the amount of more times you fake out, so the amount of more times you pretend to go up and the last 5 minutes of the hourly candle you pull back and you flip bearish and you have a top wick with a red candle. That happened more, right? That happened more than the amount of times you actually lifted off and never looked back. So, conclusion for me, closures matter. In the order flow as well, it's a very good confirmation because once we have a closure, we can actually confirm if you can actually look for an entry. If you can set a limit order, etc. Yeah, it helps a lot here. My entries will be on the 5 minute though. So pullback on the 5 minute will help me with the right entry, hopefully. I do like this overall push. I like buyers stepping in here. I like that there is so much selling, but no follow through. And the main reason why we expected that buyers are in control, right? We had our bias for today bullish, right? We said, okay, we want to look for buys, not for sells. The only sell that I told you guys about was that quick scalp. But we're looking for buys, not for sells, right? This has to do with the higher time frame. The higher time frame and all these trapped sellers right there. We knew how serious this was. Were you aligned early today that we were looking for buys, not for sells? Did this analysis make sense to you? If no, let me know. You can always look it back at the beginning of the stream. And tomorrow on the stream, we will cover all our trade ideas and everything so you understand our thought processes. And I think after the, to close the week strong together, to just reflect on what we did this week in a very, in my opinion, very interesting week. Sam for you, just subscribe. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. If you are completely new to trading, I recommend you to go over it and download my book. It's a free book. It is pretty much everything that you need to know about what I studied for the last, you could say 8 years. And I created a 300-page book with it with my team. And they helped me, of course, make it very, very good. So a lot of respect to them. It's a very good book. And it's a free book with some trades. Data as well, right? It's kind of my life's work, you could say, almost. But there we go, right? Don't buy these impulses because look at this. This is what I mean, right? This could be a fake out. We have no clue until the closure. Dollar is weaker. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. The 4 hour especially. Yeah. Gold has been faking out for the past 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. Exactly. That's because of this zone. This area right here. It's the opening candle of London that's holding us back here. But this might be the difference. This might be the differentiator. All right, we're getting there. We're getting close. We're getting somewhere. We're getting closer. We still have the 60 to the 70 as well, right? We still have another area of resistance, but that doesn't mean we cannot trade the pullback already and manage our trade once we get there, right? That's the difference. Will you explain the order flow using in a separate video? I don't think that I can explain order flow in a video. The best way I could explain order flow is by actually sit with someone for a couple weeks and go through it. Or on the live streams right here, consistently every day. Yeah, look at that rejection. 6 minutes for the closure in the hourly time frame. So let's see. Wow. Damn. 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 You guys are absolute legends, man. I appreciate all of you. This is episode 13. This has only been episode 13 of our live trading streams. Our real-time analysis around gold, the order flow, the volume profile, the macro, the analysis, the setups, and of course the trades, if they make sense for us. And yeah, I'm very grateful that this new format has been picked up so extremely well. I'm very blessed to have you guys in the chat, and I don't even have to moderate the chat. That's how crazy it is. I don't even have to moderate you guys. There's nothing to moderate. It's all just, you know, it's like Singapore. It's a well-oiled machine. I really appreciate this, guys, man. If you guys can help me out with smash up that like button, that's like the only thing I'm asking. For the rest, I'm here to trade and enjoy, you know, the music and see gold, watch gold being in a range. As always. No. Let's see if we can make some freaking moves today, man. Vlad says, oh damn, spreads are shit. Very bad trick brokers use to gain some cash from trades. Yeah, man. Yes. You don't really have this on futures though. But yeah, definitely. I still trade on Vantage also. Vantage is pretty good. But I still trade on MetaTrader too. I like to trade Forex too. Or the CFDs as well. I really don't care. Like futures, CFDs. I don't really mind. The reason why I use futures on the stream is because of the order flow, so it has the exact same level pretty much, right? That's the idea. Yeah. Anyways, this closure matters. I keep repeating it over and over again because this is that level from the London Open where sellers stepped in and where we are constantly getting rejected at. And as long as we don't close there, close above there with conviction, I can't guarantee that buyers are in control here. And this is what I want to see, right? So either we break down all the way and we look for buys around here, right? We see price tanking, taking out the lows, finding support, right, on the valuation. I look to long there. Or we break out and we pull back and I look for longs. I don't look for sells today. Not for the larger move. Maybe for a quick scalp, but not for the larger move. Big Mill says, I use a raw account on Vantage. Spreads are literally zero. Just pay a little bit more. Yeah. That's also a good, you pay a bit more commissions, but it helps. It helps. It helps. Why not use Xau Usd? The reason why is because we're using Orderflow right here, but it's pretty much the same candle structure, right? You just have to pay attention. I think the price level of gold spot, like Xau, and the actual futures chart is like 5 difference, 5 point difference, I think. Yeah, at the moment. Okay. Again, a lot of sellers here, 1.9K, 1.8K. So there are more sellers than buyers. You see that sellers are still willing to participate here. Okay. On the 15-minute, buyers are trying to step in, but they're failing to do so. So again, there is still, rejection at the VWAP. There is still resistance. And this is why trying to trade the breakout right now today is very, very tricky. At least as an impulse. Yeah. As an impulse here. Okay. Is this gold? Yeah, this is gold. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail. All right. This is the gold futures chart. Right there. This is Goldie. This is Goldie, my friend. Wow, so much selling. Damn, look at that, guys. Wow, 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 wow. Again, what is the climax here? Look at that, 55. Hope you guys can see that in the bottom here. 50 seconds for this candle to close on the hourly. And what happens? A minute before the hourly closure. How many times did we say this on stream? A minute before the hourly closure, boom, volume comes in. This is where traders get trapped. Okay, anticipating the breakout before the closure. I've seen it enough times right now. I've seen it enough times right now. Again, another closure here. Unbelievable. Not a confirmation above the 55s. We know how important this level is today, guys. Not just look at the candlesticks here, but also looking at the exact orders. What a situation. Yeah. Yeah, okay, hourly closure, not convincing yet. Still above, or still below. It's very unfortunate, but we're still below the 55s here. Okay. We're still seeing the rejection here. Lorenzo, I think we can go on shorts right now. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yeah, could we drop potentially? Look at the dollar recovering, oil recovering a little bit, finding that support. I do see potential. Oil is undervalued, the dollar is undervalued. I think that we could see a bounce again down. I would not be surprised right now if indeed we would see buyers stepping in here. Price maybe tweaking up one more time. Seller stepping in, and then rejection around here towards the 30s. Okay, so yeah, it might be a scalping opportunity here. Okay, after this hourly closure, I would not be surprised. You see the dollar, you see oil, you see the fake closure above it, the fake out. There is an absorption. Okay, there is an absorption. You have to be a bit patient because the dollar is definitely not there yet. But we'll observe it to see it. But it's definitely again a range trade below the 55s. That's a certainty. When can we see your girlfriend? She's a trader too, by the way. Okay. She's a trader too. She has been trading gold. And she's profitable. She's killing it. Okay. I trust her analysis. I'm not joking. Kida says, bro, I'm a big fan of you. Currently want to live trading, but my subscriber is not good. What do you think? I am good at trading. I'm profitable most of the time. Keep grinding, my friend. Keep pushing. You know, the thing that I've learned right now is the most important, and that number one, you need to really care. Number two, you need to be in a good environment. You need to have the right people around you. Number three, you need to make sure that you give the right value and have the right intentions, man. There we go. Yeah, so look at this. On the 50-minute, sellers are coming in. Buyers were trapped. The candle closed bearish. Look at that. This is what I mean. We could be pushing down to the 30s. Okay? We could be pushing down to the 30s right now. We were trying to push out of the VWAP, but we're unable to do so. And at the same time, the dollar is pushing up again. It's recovering. So there is definitely some extra selling pressure on gold here on the 15-minute. Another rangy scenario. The 55s are so important today, guys. Why not do a live streaming with your girlfriend? Who knows? Someday. Someday. I need to grow bigger first, you know what I mean? I need to become the big G first in this industry. I should trade confirmations more. Helped me tremendously, man. It helped me tremendously. Absolutely. Would I buy the pullback? Yes, I actually would buy the pullback. If price comes down here and we get to the lows here, we find support, I would be potentially buying with confidence, actually. So this is also another layer. It's not only about the breakout trade for me. It could also be the pullback trade for me, okay? If you would honestly ask me the question, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a breakout retest or the pullback? I would say the pullback. Objectively speaking, that's something that I would be preferred. That's what I would prefer to see, the pullback trade. But it doesn't mean that we could get there. And like, look at that. The 30s is a target that I would not exclude right now. Getting to the 30s. Like I said before, if you open up and close bearish, you pull into the trap buyers and sellers are coming in. And the dollar is holding up relatively well. Yeah, we could push down to the 30s. Yeah. Yeah, the last two sessions, guys, like, you might ask yourself, Lorenzo, what's going on? Well, if I would give you an honest answer, look at that. Yesterday too, right? The New York session, right here. This was the New York session yesterday. This is the New York session today. Just deal with it. We deal with it, we accept it, and we learn from it. That's all I can say. And just be patient, that's all. If you want to get into quick scalps, I'm giving you some quick scalps in between, right? This is one of those to the 30s. But like I said, we're waiting for the big, the real move. But the only thing I can say here is that the higher time frame support is met. Right? And if the higher time frame support is met, shorting, in my opinion, for the larger pushes, the larger moves, is from my perspective not the best right now. I don't want to buy or sell into where sellers got trapped. If there are more sellers here active from a Tuesday and they got trapped because there was more selling than buying at the bottom of this wick, but the candle block closed bullish, strong daily bullish candle closure, then I don't want to be selling into that, okay? Unless it's a take profit, I don't want to be selling in that level. That's why I'm only looking for buys today for the larger move, okay? If we manage to close below yesterday's candle or Tuesday's candle, right? Then it's a whole different story. It could mean, seriously, that we would actually be bearish and continuing down towards the weekly lows. That's a different story. But right now we're above it, right? So that's why I'm only interested in buying and not in selling for the larger move, unless it's a quick scalp to the downside. AS says, yes, you want the big moves only. Yeah, I'm giving you some quick scalps in between that, but the big moves is what I'm looking for as well here. And with big moves, I don't necessarily mean, you know, to the moon moves, but just like the daily expansions that you see here, the pullbacks, the manipulations, etc. They just pay the best. They have, in my opinion, the highest conviction. And they make the most money for me as well. The hourly time frame is very, very clear, right? The 55 is the major resistance. This is where sellers keep coming into the market. The 15-minute, look at these sellers coming in right now. I would not be surprised if we would see a push soon, a squeeze soon, okay? Solar Energy just described. Good to see you. Prashant, man, good to see you. Welcome to the streams. Hope you're doing well. And I'm looking forward to see you here this week. 8 a.m. EST will be here during the London session, going over the data, the higher time frame, the lower time frame. And hopefully always having the best ideas for the day, even in the worst market conditions. So we will be updated. Dilek says, bro, thank you for the Xau chart workspace. It is really cool. No problem, my friend. No problem. Yeah, some people got the Xau chart already, or they had it already. And I created the workspace for them. I exported it, and then you can upload it and import it, and then you have exactly what I see. You have exactly what I see. It takes otherwise super long to set up. It's a real headache. If it's the first time, it's definitely happening here. Yeah, sellers are pushing and pushing. They're still not super aggressive, but we can not say that buyers are in control right now. That's definitely on the lower time frame. If buyers are getting trapped up there in that higher time frame, resistance on the hourly time frame, and we're seeing sellers closing below that and price wicking into these buyers, and sellers are coming in, yeah, then you know that this is not where we want to be buying now. We are in the point of control of that range. That's where we bounce from. That was the bottom of today. And if you want to learn about the volume profile, you can learn it on page number, or chapter number 1, the volume analysis. Okay? Volume is king. Why time isn't enough? Interest creates opportunity. Futures versus CFDs. And the power of the fixed range volume profile. It's a free book right here. But anyways, sellers are pushing down. I don't think that the 30s are unreasonable to be hit here very, very soon, guys. The 30s. We've been saying this now for the past 15 minutes. And there we go. We reached the 30s. Arshbar just subscribed. Man, thank you, G's. Appreciate this. Oh, sorry for that, guys. So I was talking about the valuation here, okay? Because I saw a question from Pat coming in saying that his limit orders are always too tight, yet once the stop loss limit is hit, it keeps trending down. And this is a very good question because this is why we use a tool called the valuation tool, okay? And this tool measures the bottom or the top, the potential short-term bottom or short-term top. You can see every time we're undervalued, we tend to bottom out here, okay? At least in the short term. It doesn't mean that we're gonna go up. It just simply means this might be right now the short-term bottom, okay? That's the only reason why we look at this thing. So when we get into our limit orders, we don't necessarily get squeezed immediately, right? We at least range and we can then manage our trade better. It's not a tool that determines our execution, or it does determine our execution, but it does determine the direction. But it helps us with at least timing the market a bit better so we don't get squeezed, or at least the chances that we will be squeezed out of our trade are just a bit smaller. And it helps tremendously. Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Once we reach the 30s, right here, the 4430.3, we came up again. Why the 30s? Because this is where we bounced from beforehand. Right here. Okay? Now we're pushing higher. I just want to see a squeeze, a breakout. The dollar is rejecting again. Oil is holding up, but it's slowing down. The dollar is weakening. So hopefully this is the move, the breakout, finally. Let's go to the 5 minutes, see if we can find some pullback entries. Is this finally the breakout, right? That's the question. Is this indicator saying we're overpriced at this moment? We are definitely a bit overpriced, yes. Absolutely. The problem was the dollar was dropping and the gold was ranging, okay? But that means we have to just wait for the pullback, which we have to do anyways, and then place our buy limit. So that's the only thing we're looking for. If you break out, we place a buy limit. And the reason why I place a buy limit is because the amount of pullbacks over time are significant. And the actual breakout trades that you see being fake outs are just higher, right? We saw that already in the last hourly candle. Bro, can you please explain how you draw this fixed point of control? We can do that, yes. We go to the 50-minute time frame, for example. We mark out a range. This is the range where from the daily time frame, we saw all these sellers, right? That's pretty much this range right here. And we use our tool right there. It's called the fixed range volume profile. You mark it out from the left to the right. And then it gives you a red line. And at the red line is where in that range, the most trades were executed, okay? So that means that if the most trades were executed there, the most interest is there as well. I hope that makes sense. So the most interest is there. But this is why we were holding that support there. And that confirms with the order flow very well, right? A lot more selling than buying. And now all these sellers got trapped and all these buyers are stepping in. So this is why buys are, in my opinion, the most logical... the most logical moves for today. Now it's about, okay, if that's the case, then what's the best entry? Right? What is the best entry? I think today was a very, very choppy day. I think a lot of people got trapped today, like yesterday as well, by the way. Tuesday, we sniped the bottom. But we're pretty much back at where we came from Tuesday, right? No, actually, Tuesday we took a trade from, the bottom. Pretty much the bottom, right? Where was it? Right here. So we're still above that, but yeah. Yesterday was flat. Today is pretty flat, but right now we have a bit more chance of a breakout. The reason why I'm saying that is because we're seeing more volume. A bit more volume today's session, even if it's in a range. Lorenzo, background AI, where did you get this? Yeah, technology is getting crazy, bro. I know, it's getting wild right now. If we can at least close a 50-minute candle above this, this would already show us a bit more significance, right? A little bit more of a closure above. Yeah, I've been really thinking about shorting, right? We're kind of two small scalping opportunities here that we talked about, two small scalping shorts. But for the rest, you can just tell the market is waiting, right? The market is waiting for that large breakout, that large break move. Have you ever thought about automating your strategy? I don't know how to combine this with the order flow though. And actually, to be real honest with you, I really enjoy trading. Like I objectively enjoy to trade live, and not just live, but just in general. I like to trade. For me, the automation and stuff, I don't know, like it's probably possible. It's probably possible, but you know, I really objectively like to trade. I'm like, ah, man, it's Saturday. Ah, shit, it's Saturday. Bitcoin, low volume. I'm like, no way. You know what I mean? No chance. So no, I actually prefer to trade manually, but I think it should be possible. I mean, if you have some understanding right now of how to connect some of that order flow stuff with like an API or something, it might be possible. Why are you bullish on gold? Is it at resistance? It can go down. Yeah, I mean, of course, in the short term, on the lower time frame, it could drop. It could reject here. It has been rejecting consistently. But on the higher time frame, we are in a major support. Higher time frame support, major support. So it's a good question, my friend. Right, we're seeing a lot of selling and a lot of buying now, steppers. This is the daily candle, by the way. This is the daily candle. A lot more buying. 4 hours in support. Okay. Buyers are willing to step in here. The 1 hour, a lot of buying here. A lot of green delta. This means there are more buyers than sellers. Sellers at the top, but they're unable to push price down. This is the moment, in my opinion, where we will make the difference. This hourly candle is hopefully the candle where we make the difference here. But the 50-minute is where it starts, right? The 50-minute closure. If we break out and we actually close, then I will set the limit order at 40. Let me see. I think it's going to be around... it depends where we close, but it's probably going to be... It could be at the 55s, to be honest. It could be at the 55. It could be a long entry at the 55. Let's put this at 50 as well. But we're seriously overvalued. This was the best entry here. If we can get down to an undervaluation again, and we see that buyers are in control, I think it's a very straightforward buy. Yeah. Yeah, we're looking for the best entry of the stream, pretty much, of the session. But I like to work with limit orders. It helped me tremendously. It increased my win rate, okay, significantly. Limit orders actually increased my win rate significantly, or waiting for some sort of entry confirmation as well. But since I started to utilize some limit orders, so start testing this around my key levels, it really helped me because it just gave me more room to manage my trade better. So for example, if price drops and I get into a limit order, or price breaks out and it pulls back and I get into my limit order, you know, I can manage my trade. Because usually when it happens, we're undervalued. We usually create some sort of bounce, right? It doesn't mean we always continue. But then I can decide, do I want to close the trade? Do I like what I see in the order flow? Is there a reason for me to hold on to the trade? Blah, 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 right? Or you enter there in a market breakout and you flip bearish, you are a million drawdown. And then all these emotions come up and you're like, ah, shit. What do I do now? And then you're stuck in the trade. You're like, you want to hold on to the trade. You don't know what to do with the trade. You close the trade and you're like, ah, shit, it pulls back. And you're like, you know, it's always like feeling like you're one step behind. You know what I mean? This is what I felt. This is what I felt when I was doing a lot of these market confirmation trades aggressively. And I was like, no, man, you just need to chill, follow your system, and wait for the pullbacks, and they come. And if you don't believe the price will pull back, I've seen it many times when I thought it would never come back, and guess what? It comes back, and it tracks me into my position here. And it helped me tremendously. Now, if I'm scalping on the lower time frame in the range itself, okay, that's an area where I would say, okay, I might take an aggressive market order. But that's only like a 10, 20 pip move, point move, right? A quick, 50 pip move, right? A quick move in and out. That's a different story. That is a different story. All right, I hope this will finally be at least some breakout here. The 15-minute is the first one we look for. But we are still in that resistance right now. We're at the VWAP here. We're trying to push into the VWAP. A lot of resistance here. A lot of people are trying to buy the breakout. That's what we're seeing. We're trying to buy the breakout. John says, yes. Limit orders have forced me to think through my trades and eliminated spontaneous mistakes. Big game changer. Amazing to hear that, John. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of you guys have been asking about this platform. This is called the Xau charts, in case you want to know. It does cost money. I'm not here to promote it. I don't make any money off this. I don't have a link for you or anyway. But I will have some giveaway promo very, very soon. Because they actually reached out. Okay. And they said, hey, watching the live streams, loving it. If you want some giveaway promos so people can try it for a month for free, then why not? So this is perfect for us to do the giveaways and give you guys access for free for at least a month so you can try out the platform. I'll give you my workspace as well, right? So you can actually see how it works and then, yeah, practice it, of course. There we go, right? So again, we're still below it. I'm liking the compression. I'm liking the squeeze here. And it seems to be a matter of time before we actually push. But yeah, I've learned that closures are so important. All right, the hourly is here. We are in our last final zone, which is this one. The first step is to simply close above the 55. If we can already do that, then we already know that these sellers are stuck in their trade. And then I'm probably going to already place a buy limit order. I'm going to put a buy limit order somewhere around within the range. And it could be at the 45, for example, or the 39, something like that. If you guys want to have access to the... if you guys already have the access charts, for example, right, and you want to try it, you can just message me on Instagram. And I'll send you the link, the Google Drive link for my workspace if you want it. Do you really need Orderflow? I always say it's an additional tool, right? It's not a strategy, right? Orderflow is not a strategy. This is a strategy. My trading is my strategy. The dollar, the valuation, the volume profile. That's my strategy. But it definitely helps with knowing who's actually in control. And it confirms definitely a lot of things that I'm seeing on the charts. Which builds confidence, right? It builds confidence. Yeah, we're still seeing the 15-minute rejection. All right, what I do like right now is the following. I like how we're dropping. I like how we're coming down here in the valuation. But we're not necessarily moving up. So that means if we pull back, let's say we get an hourly closure or something and we do pull back here and we close around there. Yeah, I would feel pretty confident with buying or setting a limit order here. I'm already gonna place a limit order way lower. So don't think that we're gonna get filled like that here. I don't expect price to fill us here. Okay? But I'm already going to put it there in case. I'm going to put it at... let's look at the 15-minute. I'm going to put it at like the 22s already. I don't think that I will get necessarily filled there yet. But I already have it placed in case. And then I can move it up. Right, later on, if we get the right confirmation, for example. For now, it's going to be like the 22. Yeah, 22. At least that's set. And then we go from there. Can we still scalp our way down intraday, lower time frame in the range? Maybe. But for now, it's just a buy limit sitting at 22. At the very, very low. Actually, it's called the very, very low in this range. But most likely with a closure, with a good closure and stuff, I'll wait for the pullback and move my limit order up, probably to like the 45. Yeah, if you just look at the candlesticks right now, you see the price is holding up really well. It tried to push down. A lot of fake moves here. But I'm telling you, and I've been saying this already so many times right now, right? It's this candle right here, this hourly zone, this hourly resistance here, this red box. Why do we constantly react from these boxes, right? That's the question. Why do we constantly react from them? When I mark out these boxes, why do we react from these boxes? Well, there's a lot more volume traded there. Sellers to control there. They were able to push price down. This is where you see selling pressure coming in. This is why you're seeing on the candlestick chart now that selling pressure right there coming in. You're also below the VWAP. Yeah, if we close below the 42s, for example. Nah, I think that shorting right now is very, very tricky, actually. I think that shorting here, there's definitely some absorption there around the 40s. So, no, I think shorting is very, very tricky right now. We're trying to squeeze above these sellers. What do you hope? I hope we break out. I hope we continue higher. And we can finally wait for the pullback. Push our limit order up. And mark out the scenario of the day, the rest of the day. Finally some volume. Okay, finally some push here. The 15-minute closure has been done already, and this is where we actually tapped into, so you can already send a 15-minute. Guess why? Why do we tap into that red box? Again, right? So when we talked about that initial scalp period, that made sense, right? Then that other one towards the 30s, that also made sense. But after that, we said, no, I think there is no more scalping here. We're squeezing soon. Yeah, we finally closed above that. I like this overall. I like this 15-minute. It's almost there in 9 minutes. Finally the move. Finally the move here. Can we move? Can we push our limit order up? Can we push our limit order up? Yeah. Where are you going to put your limit order? I will put my limit order around the... to be honest, if we pull down, I would say the... I would say the 55s. Because this is where all that selling pressure came from, right? Where we held throughout the whole London session. We saw this during the London open here. 1.6K. We saw the closure. We tapped into this at 6, at 7, at 8, at 9. And now finally at the 10-hour candle, we're breaking above it. So this is where sellers came in again to short it. And now these sellers that you see right there, that actually really tried to short it again, right? It becomes repetitive, right? Sellers are coming in at some point. It becomes too repetitive. They see, oh, every time here we get rejected, so we're going to enter short again. Now, this is what happened again. But this time, the buyers to control. And now with a candle closure, we can confirm the buyers to control. And then it's a very safe buy here for me at 55. Okay? But that means I will push this up to 55. I think we will slow down then on the 5-minute. We can pull back a bit. And then my buy limit will be at 55, if that makes sense here. And then I'll put my stop loss around the 23. All right? the 23, something like that. Probably around the the 26, 27. Kyle says Trump is speaking.
To open borders and give amnesty to illegal alien criminals. They want to give amnesty to some of the criminals that came into our country. Just about all of them, actually, if you look at it. They love sanctuary cities, which is a sanctuary for criminals. They want to make sure they're taken care of. That's what we're fighting about. That's really what they're fighting.
Yeah. It is, it's Trump being alive. You know what that means? We're squeezing higher. The closure matters. The closure really matters. The closure really, really matters. Trump speaking, dollar reacting a little bit bullish. Oil is pushing up, finding that support as well here. Keep that in mind. Oil is finding that support here. Okay. So is the dollar. And we're still overvalued. So this hourly candle closure is going to be so important again. Yeah. I can listen to Trump. We can listen to Trump live. But I think that we just need to focus on the charts. We know that he's speaking. We roughly know what he's going to say. So that's not really going to come as a surprise too much. So I think we should just focus on what we do best here. And analyze the breakout here of gold. And see if it's a legitimate breakout. Or if this is not a legitimate breakout. We will know. Probably not now. But we probably know this in around 10 minutes from now. The last 10 to 5 minutes before the hourly closure is where we really see its potential. And we can always move our buy limit up, guys. I'll keep saying this. We can always move our buy limit up. Right now it's at 22, which is way low. I don't expect it to be filled anytime right now. But we're dealing with a very critical market condition again, similar to yesterday. But at least today we have a bit more volume. And we have Trump speaking, so hey. It's a war update. This will have an impact on the price, okay? I just want to warn you already in advance. This will most likely have an impact on the current price action. All right. What a day again. Similar to yesterday. What will you do if price continues to go higher and we close above it? I will move my limit order up to the 55s. Yeah. Why? Because that's where these sellers got trapped here. But hey, we are not there yet, okay? We're not there yet. He's speaking now. Any word, anything he says can be used against us. I'm just saying, okay? Like I said, look at the dollar. Look at oil right now. Oil is spiking here. The dollar is spiking here. Gold is under the VWAP or it's rejecting. We're overvalued, so don't be there yet. Don't be that confident yet. It's that hourly closure that's going to make the difference here. Calvin, my man, welcome. Calvin Lee Kai Moon, welcome to the streams. You're entering the stream in a very unique situation here. Actually, yesterday as well. If yesterday was your first day as well here. Don't get me wrong, but we've been in a very unique situation right now. You need to watch the streams on a consistent basis to really understand what we're doing here. Okay? I'm just trying to right now give you the best potential confirmation and information along the way here. Even in market conditions like these, in a range, breakout, Trump speaking, you name it. We're still here. making sure that you are aware and cautious around certain scenarios. So I hope that makes sense here. 5 days a week for you at least at 8 a.m. EST for a couple hours. We both need to make money, man. We're both on the same page here. We're both on the same page, okay? We want the best for both of us. Yeah, look at that. Sellers already. Come. Oh, man. Look at that on the 15, guys. Wow. Look at this, eh? Look at that. When have we seen that red box here, guys? 2 minutes left for this 50-minute candle closure. When have we seen? When was the last time we've seen a box like that in this New York session today? Do you know what I mean? These closures are really important. Oh man, look at that, eh? Look at that. Overvaluation here at the VWAP. Oil is spiking higher, quite aggressively here. The dollar, this can't be good for gold. This cannot be good for gold. The yield is pushing up. We always talked about this in the analysis at the beginning of the stream. We do our full analysis, always, every day. Our top-down breakdown. We go over the macros. We look at the sentiment. This is why I have a section list here. It's called the stream watch list. It shows the dollar and dollar-related instruments. It shows the metal sector like gold, the NQ, the stock market, and then oil. And everything is connected, okay? Somehow, it's all connected with each other. So by looking at our watch list, we clearly understand what is happening at this moment. What's the sentiment of the day? Yeah. Trump is doing his best.
Raided that place, so it's now buried deep under earth. And it was an amazing thing, but they would have a nuclear, and they would have used it without question. Yeah. And you know that because why did they shoot?
This is all about Iran, G's. This is all about Iran right now. So if you're trying to trade the impulses here, be very, very careful. Yeah. I'm thinking, what is going to be the best analysis of the session here? If I have a plan in mind. We just need to wait to see what happens now once Trump is pretty much done with his cabinet meeting, okay? Because that's going to help us with understanding where we are, where we close. But again, I guess this 50-minute candle closure now will help tremendously. I really want to wait for this hourly closure here today, regardless, and see where we actually close, because this will be the most important closure of today. Absolutely. What an action. It's unbelievable here. GRV sings says, I love this, man. Well, yeah, it's definitely fun to watch. It's very exciting to watch, that's for sure. All these sellers coming in here. Hourly closure in 30 minutes. That's what I'm waiting for today. That should be giving me at least an impression here. I will make sure I'll do the proper analysis one more time for you guys. I have my buy limit at 4422 here, but I don't expect necessarily we'll get there now. I was thinking about an hourly closure at first there, pushing my limit order up higher, getting filled, looking for the continuation, but it depends on where we close the hourly, like I said before. We need to close above the 75, in my opinion. And then I will push my limit order up to like the 55s, but that has to do with the hourly closure in around 12 minutes, 13 minutes. But for now, Trump is doing what he's doing best. and that is to cause the volatility. John says, tough to trade this because a massive fundamental is really impacting our technical analysis. Yeah, there's definitely some things happening here, but the best thing that we can do is to observe the order flow, keep our focus, look at the range, look at the confirmation of the closures, see who's in control. And not buy and not try to chase the market down, right? That's the most important. There were 2 opportunities here that we talked about, 2 quick scalps to the downside. That's pretty much the only thing that I could see clearly. That made sense to me here. For the rest, it was the larger anticipation that we're waiting for. Yesterday was very, very similar. Tuesday was very, very aggressive, very clear. Monday was very clear as well. Yeah, we're trying to hold it up, right? The VWAP is trying to hold it. It's interesting to see it in a real time. Look at all that selling. Wow. Imagine buying at the top, right? This is what I mean with buying the breakouts, okay? And not closing your trades. It's so nasty. So nasty to be stuck here now. Because then you're going to hope that it's pulling back. You don't really want to close it because you're still holding above support, right? So you don't really want to close the trade. You're stuck in the trade, but you think, it might come back. And sometimes it does. And then sometimes you just continue to drop and you're stuck in your trade. It happened to me all the time before. And it's something I promised myself not to experience again. And to just follow a really clear system, knowing what kind of confirmation you're looking for and just enter on the breakouts, sorry, the pullbacks. And if it's a breakout trade, we need to be undervalued somehow. Twat says, thank you, OG. I will exit the live with $60 today. Amazing. Congratulations, man. And I wish you a nice day. Fly Tuki says, hey, Lorenzo, I think 2026 is going to be a peak cinema year. I personally think that gold's bottom might be already in this year from technical point of view. What do you think? Unless Trump is doing some irrational shit. Yes. Well, for now, at least what we can see is that the dollar gold is potentially selling in the bottom here. But today, this is why I said beginning of the stream, I said today is the most important day because this is where sellers got for the first time trapped as well. If we can manage to take out some of these buyers and we actually create a higher high on the daily, we set in a potential new trend. For now, we are not there yet. We do see buyers stepping in here. This might be the potential bottom. This is why we said buys are the best potential moves today. Unless it's a quick scalp. But if we close the day below, right, we could easily get back to the weekly lows again and continue to formulate a continuation trend as well here. So I'm just taking it day by day right now. I'm not too much into the predicting mindset on the higher time frame. I'm much more into where did we close the daily candle yesterday? Where were the most orders traded yesterday? And where are we trading? Are we trading above or are we trading below that, right? That's the idea. And just taking it day by day. I think that's the best way to do it with Trump because you never really know what he's going to say, what is going to happen here. Is it going to be ceasefire, yes or no? It feels right now, objectively, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards, okay? Sorry, 2 steps forward in terms of escalation, 1 step backwards. Right now, it's 1 step backwards. That's what I'm feeling. But again, we should not base our trades around that idea because You never really know. You never really know. Lorenzo, I started trading 3 years ago. I follow you since you go on YouTube. Today I have 40K in payouts at FTMO and Fun Next. Amazing. Congratulations. That's nice. That's awesome to hear, man. All right, 7 minutes. And then it's climax time. 7 minutes for that closure on the hourly time frame. We know how important this is going to be. Let's just hope we break out. Let's just hope we actually close above it and just actually make sure that we do at least close above the 55s. That's the minimum we want to see here. But watch the volume coming in right now in the last 3-4 minutes of this hourly candle. Watch the volume coming in. You will see. We're going to go to the 5-minute time frame. Okay, the moment the hourly candle has 5 minutes to go, we're going to go to the 5-minute time frame and we're going to see the volume coming in. Krusty says, there's something I don't understand. If this candle closes strong bearish, why do we only look for buys? Is it possible you're only seeing one direction and not being open-minded? Yeah, there is something called a daily bias, right? A daily bias where you would kind of assume, according to this data, that buyers would have a larger chance of succeeding than sellers. That's kind of their daily bias. That's what we're talking about, okay? We're expecting that we find support. Selling into support or in support is usually on the higher time frame not the best statistical move, right? But that's why we talk about potential buys here and buy limits, etc. But that doesn't mean that in the range, like we did already 2 times in this stream, right? 2 times in the stream we said this might be a quick scalp towards the downside. We said this before, right? So internally we could still look for quick scalps towards the downside, but the larger potential move we're talking about are these buys potentially here with the right confirmation. I hope that makes sense. Can your daily buys change? I mean, right now we are at a major daily level, major daily support. So unless we break below that or unless we push up high and we find new resistance here, let's say right here at the top, right there, yeah, we might find that our daily buys can change up there. Or at least for the session, for example, I agree. But look at this, right? What do I say? The last 5 minutes, right? What's happening? The last 5 minutes, the volume comes in. The real move happens. The real direction, right, of what their intent is. Now we have a bunch of trap buyers sitting at the top here. And we know now where does this 5-minute candle going to close? Where is this hourly candle going to close? If it's closing below the 55s, I'm going to get out for today. I'm not going to try to get into the market here because it's just a mess. Trump is speaking. Dollar is all over the place. Right? We have our main man, our main character talking right now. And a huge indecisive candle on the hourly time frame with, again, another closure not above the 55s here. Okay? And if that would be the case, then we know that we need to wait another hour for that confirmation. That's something that we're not willing to do, at least not now for me. It seems that that's what's happening here. That doesn't mean I will look for the right level to buy lower, right? If that's the case here. But hey, we still have 3 minutes left for this closure at least. So let's see. What a wild market today, guys. It's like watching a boxing fight right here, being the live commentator. Yeah, some good question, man. Krusty Axel as well, good question. That was a good question. It makes sense, your thought process of why you would think this. I hope I will be able to give you some context as well here. Only good questions here, guys, in the chat. Barely have to moderate. I haven't deleted any messages here in the chat here. Because we have an awesome community right now. We're building something epic, right? Episode 13 of the Orderflow volume and Orderflow series. This is by far the biggest stream again. We're sitting at 24,000 views so far in this stream so far. 24,000 views. We gain around, I don't know, almost 1,000 subscribers in this stream alone. Yeah, the market is on a complete rampage right now. Ah, man, I wish I could give you something beautiful today. I really, really wish to. These two scalps were okay, but man, I'll make sure you will not be leaving empty-handed here today. I can guarantee you this. And if you liked it so far, then just smash up that like button, because we are here for you on a daily basis, here 5 days a week anyways. We're going to have market conditions like these, right? We have to acknowledge we cannot predict the market, but what we can predict is our consistency and our discipline. And as long as we're consistent and disciplined there, we show up together, we listen to some badass music together at the opening, and we do our work, we have our trading system, we follow up, we'll make things happen. We'll make things work here. So if you like this free education, then you can help me out tremendously by smashing up that like button. "45 seconds. The 15 is also going absolutely nuts. Trading says made 3K from the push from 44.55. Damn. Nice. Closure 5 seconds here. Is Trump still doing his thing?
We'll discuss the actions that we're taking to address
attacking Americans across this planet. And other presidents had an opportunity to do something about it. And they all warned about how Iran was dangerous, but they refused to act. And this president's not someone that's going to refuse to act. He's not going to leave a danger like this in place. He's going to address it, and that is what he is doing. From the very first night of this operation, the president made it very clear. People like this, and now what I'm talking about is not the people of Iran. The people that run this country are radical Shia clerics. These are religious fanatics. Look what they are doing now. At their weakest point, this is the weakest Iran has ever been, and look at what they're doing. They're attacking embassies. They're an embassy.
Yo, hey, this doesn't sound like a de-escalation to me, if you ask me right now. To be honest with you, objectively. Does this sound like a de-escalation? I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. I don't know for you, man, but not necessarily, okay? All right, so we have the hourly candle. We closed above this high. We are not necessarily breaking above this breakout 75 for the pullback, so we could push our limit order up to the 55s. We're still overvalued here. Trump is speaking. I'm just not willing to risk it today, guys. Honestly, like these two quick scalps were okay, but it's not an environment that I can see it here with the price action that we're currently witnessing right now. Wicks on each side here, buyer stepping in, seller stepping in, not being able to follow through here. Trump speaking right now. I hope you understand the situation here, okay? This is what we call discipline and continuation of our streams, episode 13. Episode 12 and episode 13 were definitely similar episodes, but again, it just shows how important it is to sit on our hands, to be patient, to take some quick scalps if we want to, and to not be greedy when taking scalps, and wait for the confirmation for the bigger move. I think this makes the most sense right now. Thank you, Mr. Trumpy, for today. we'll pay attention to the price action. Let me give a full breakdown one more time, because you understand the full thought process, okay, of why, number one, we're here. Secondary, the top-down analysis, so you understand the scenarios, okay, so you're not left here empty-handed, so you have at least an understanding of why I have a limit order set now at 4422 at this moment, and why I'm still looking for a bounce scenario. I just forget about all this short-term noise, why I'm looking at a potential bounce here. Yeah, we're gonna go over this. Let's do this right here, okay? Why de-escalate when you're about to win? That's a good question. That's a good statement right there. Why de-escalate when you're about to win? Exactly. That makes a lot of sense. That's a good point here. Okay. All right. What do we do here on the live streams? We are here to analyze gold every day, to go over the price action every day, to look at the best confirmations, to see who's in control. Why? We have a workspace on the order flow chart here. I explain you why buys are favorable, okay? Why sells still could become favorable, but the daily closure will be important today. Why we are seeing today as being the most important day for not just tomorrow, but also for the rest of the week, okay? And I'm talking about the Monday, Tuesday, next week, etc. here. Today is that day. Today is the most important day for the next coming days, if not 2 weeks ahead of us here, according to the current price action, okay? So, how to see if I'm buying or selling? You simply see me being in a trade, being activated in a position right around there. This was a great example of where we are chilling, sitting in our position here, executing a trade right there. But let me do the full breakdown right now, so you guys are ready to rock and roll here. First things first. Let's do this. Albert says, hello, Lorenzo. It's my first time in the session, already learning. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So number one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you right now gold on the higher time frame. All right. So you have an understanding of the daily right around here. Okay. I'll do this one more time for all the people that came into the stream right now that missed the beginning. And that is the following. Okay. We have our week right there. This is our weekly demand zone. We talked about this already, how we found support at around 4,200 and how we found weekly support at around 4,360. Okay, so we marked this out as our weekly level. We have seen this acting as major support, major resistance right now. We're still trading above this. And on the daily, clearly, you guys can see this is also an extremely important daily level as well here, right there. Okay, so this is something that we can acknowledge right now. After the gold drop since the 11th of March here, we've seen a 20% drop, okay? We are now finally pushing back up. We are closing above this. So I want you to pay attention to this level right here. The 4,360 is a major level. We closed above this as well. We held that support above it, but now we're pulling back potentially. Right? We're pulling back into this here. Now, the reason why we right now have to look at the order flow is to understand what has actually happened in each daily candle since, let's say, March 19th here. So since this last drop, this is March 19th here, and this is March 26th, right? This last week, we need to understand what has actually been happening in terms of the order flow, right? And each daily candle that you can see on this chart here contains the orders in that candle, okay? And I want you to understand this a bit. We will be talking about this a lot more, not just on the lower time frame for our execution on stream, but also the higher time frame. We can actually see here that a lot of buyers stepped in here on the 19th, but the candle closed bearish, okay? So that means if the candle closes bearish and a lot of buyers stepped in here, that this is where a lot of traders got trapped into the markets, predominantly buyers that got squeezed out of their position. The reason why is because the candle opened bullish. Everyone started to predict the bottom. They thought it was the bottom, and then price flipped bearish, right? And the candle closed bearish, okay? So right here, you can see clearly that all these buyers got trapped. We marked that as our major areas of resistance right here. And the main reason right now, and I think this is very, very clear, that we close bearish right now is because these buyers got trapped, sellers got involved, a lot of limit orders were executed, sellers took control, and they cannot close bearish here. So this is a zone that we mark out. Now, if we go to the 12-hour, what is that candle look like? How does that candle look like on the 12-hour? That looks like a really clear supply zone. Right here, the 19th, right? We mark out that zone in between the 4,630 and then the 4,737, okay? So we mark this out and you can see very clearly the 4,650, 4,730 right here. That is roughly speaking this area of supply right here. So this is a confirmed supply zone where we will find resistance, okay? So we already know we are currently in a downtrend since, you could say, March 3rd, the whole month of March, we have been trending downwards. This is the major resistance that needs to be broken to say confidently, if we can break this and we pull back, we are now shifting the trend again and we can look for the continuation to the upside right there, okay? This is kind of the thought process of where I would feel very comfortable, where we're trading with the trend again. But right now, we are actually counter trend trading here. We're actually looking for the reversal to the upside, okay? And the reason why we're looking for the reversal to the upside is because if we take the bottom right here, the most crazy day that we saw here was the Monday, right? The day where we opened, where we dropped 10% and where we almost recovered almost 5% of this in a single day right here, okay? So right now you can see that this candle right there is where we are reacting into, okay? But this becomes by default a very important candle as well. The reason why, if you go to the daily, a lot of buyers came in at the end. So all these sellers started to short the bottom, but the candle closed above these sellers here. There's a large absorption taking place from buyers, okay? The next day, a lot of people tried to sell again because people were so focused and obsessed with selling that at some point it became a habit, right? Selling the bottom, expecting price to continue down. What happens? A lot of people start to sell in a range. And this is where we close the candle bullish here. This happened on Monday, right there, okay? Sorry, on Tuesday, right there. You can see that right here, okay? Now that we are analyzing this candle, we can see here that in that candle here on a Tuesday, okay, the most selling took place in between the 4429 and the 4348, okay? This is where sellers got trapped. Now, what we saw on all these boxes that we talked about on the lower time frame, okay? This also happens on the higher time frame. When you tap into a zone where buyers or sellers got trapped, we tend to react from it. We tend to bounce from it. This is what we call demand. This is what we call supply from an order flow perspective, okay? So if we go back to the lower time frame here and we mark this out on the 15-minute, we can indeed see that this whole Tuesday, there was more selling than buying here, okay? Does it make sense, guys? I hope you understand this. More selling than buying here. This daily candle confirms this, okay? If that's the case and you break out, then what we want to know is where in this range was the most volume traded. So we use a tool called the fixed range volume profile, right around there, okay? We can learn about this in our book. We have this book for free. You can download this for free. You want to learn about the volume profile. I wrote a whole book about this, okay? It's a free book. There are no strings attached here. I have nothing to sell you. I'm just here to teach you this system. You can actually download this. There will be a link in this chat. You can download the book for free, okay? And you can learn about the volume profile and how to use it. But right here, we have a whole range that we marked out. We know that there were more sellers than buyers right there. So what we do, guys, is we mark out the volume profile by using a tool called the fixed range volume profile. You have it on your trading view, and we mark it from the left of the range to the right. And look at that. We are now seeing a bunch of volume, okay? We know that there's more selling than buying. There's more volume traded. These were more sellers that are trapped, okay? The point of control is the level where the most volume was traded. And look what happens when I mark a range, or mark out that red line that you see right there. and I turn it into a bigger line, and I extend this line, and look at where we are reacting from right now at this moment, okay? This was the bottom of today, guys. This was the bottom of today. Do you understand how important it is? This is why this is an important thing to know. We know that there were more trapped sellers here. We utilize the volume profile, okay? And we're seeing the bottom taking place around right there, our key level right there. You see that? That was the bottom of today during the London session. After that, okay, we saw a lot of selling. So we take this same information, we take this to the lower time frame, and what we can see is that every time when we tap into that zone, we get respected. And what happens? Sellers are trying to come in, okay, but they're unable to push price down. They're trying to come in, they're unable to push price down. But at the same time, because Trump was speaking today, buyers were also not able to push price higher. So this allowed us to be stuck in this range today, in this whole trading session right now, while Mr. Trump is doing his thing here, okay? We know by default that everyone is waiting. Everyone is waiting for the climax, okay? There's no clear direction from this session, but from the larger standpoint, the larger perspective, we can clearly see that buyers right now are definitely winning the belt in the short term, because you can see already in today's candle, there's more buying than selling above the trapped sellers. So why should we be looking for sells right now? I hope that makes sense. Why should we be looking for sells right now? This is why we shouldn't be looking for sells right now. It's better what I can say here, because we are bouncing here. Okay? When would I be very comfortable with selling again? Okay? Either we are in resistance, where we see trapped buyers, right? Or where we find an area of resistance right here, and we find resistance, I will be selling. If we see rejection, I will be comfortable with this. Or we actually close a daily candle below this box right here, below the 4346. If we can break below that and we pull back into this, there is a big chance we go towards the weekly lows, guys, okay? This is the weekly lows right here. All the way back down towards where we came from, okay? Where we closed the Monday, right here. Or where we opened the week, sorry, right there, okay? So if we close below this range, I'm only be looking at shorting gold, okay? I'm only be looking to short gold and target the actual weekly lows right here. That makes the most logical sense, because then it shows us that buyers were able to step in here, where sellers got trapped. They were unable to push price higher, and sellers are now back in control fully. And if that's the case, the only thing that I will be looking for is selling, okay? So anything below that is a sell bias for me, all right? That means right now I can try to sell where and hope it breaks down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be the best trade for me from a risk perspective, okay? A risk to reward perspective. This is why we could come down. I'm not here to predict anything. And in my wording, I hope you don't see that I'm trying to predict the outcome, okay? I'm just trying to see what right now makes the most logical sense for us, okay? That's what I'm trying to look at. And for me, what makes the most logical sense for us is we're now at a stage right now where statistically speaking, buying makes the most sense. Under lower time frame, finding the best opportunities makes the most sense. But if we do break below, our bias gets invalidated and the weekly lows makes the most sense. So shorting becomes more favorable, okay? But as long as we are above this, I'm looking for the best buying opportunities, okay? Not selling opportunities, buying opportunities. So how do we look for buying opportunities? That's the real question, okay? Now, number one, we have two critical levels. We have the 62 and we have the 08 right here. These are two major levels, okay? As long as we're above these levels, we're good, okay? Above the zone, we're good. What we need to look for right now is a way to time the market correctly, okay? And the way we do that is by understanding how the dollar moves against gold, or how gold moves against the dollar. If the dollar is strong, there's a big chance that we still push down, okay? If the dollar gets into an area of resistance, there is a big chance that we will potentially bounce with gold. This is how the market moves, right? If oil pushes up, if the dollar pushes up, it usually has a negative impact on gold, okay? If you don't believe me, just look at the gold chart right now, okay, today, and look at the oil chart right now, today, okay? Oil pushed down right here, very, very clearly. Oil pushed down, right at the bottom, that was the top on gold today. Do you see that? It's very important for us, because if you understand that, we can get the sentiment and understand the expectations here, okay? So what we're trying to do is to go to the 50-minute time frame and to find a way. You can also use the RSI. You can use an indicator. Okay, the RSI is not a magic indicator. It helps you with timing the market. I use a valuation tool which measures gold against the dollar. If we get to an undervaluation, okay, we usually predict the bottom very well. All right, an undervaluation predicts the bottom very well. Look at that in the past here this whole week. Every time when we got undervalued, we at least came up around what? 1,000 pips? More, right? Even here, 500 pips, right? At least we bounced. At least we got into the correct entry, right? We could manage our trade correctly. I hope that makes sense. So even when we're wrong about our bias, in most cases, I have enough time to manage my trade. I hope that makes sense here. Now we're overvalued, okay? Now we're overvalued. So right now, last time we were overvalued, we were here. Now we're overvalued. We don't have a closure right here on the hourly above our major zone. So why do I think buying doesn't make sense? Because we are not optimal trading here. We're not trading optimally, okay? So if you went long there, you were chasing the market. That's the reality. You were simply chasing the market down in the hope it would break out, okay? But not from a confirmation standpoint, not statistically speaking here, okay? So right now we're overvalued. There is a large chance we pull back. We need to cool down here. The market needs to cool off here. The dollar is gaining strength. Oil is gaining strength. This is now a moment where gold could potentially pull back, okay? So I don't see a reason to buy because buyers are not showing intraday that we are in control here. If we pull back, guys, there are two scenarios. We either pull back down to the 8 again, okay? Or we pull back to the lower time frame again, somewhere around the 62s, and then we bounce. But that's a bit far away, right? So what I'm trying to do here is to manage my trade more tight and take it to the 5-minute instead. Let's go to the 5-minute. And actually see here, in this range, if we can be supported by buyers. So we're going to use the range again. We're going to look at the volume. We're going to look at the undervaluation. Okay, we were undervalued right around here. We are now getting to an undervaluation right around there. And it might be that around the 22s is a good area for a quick bounce again here. So I am willing to keep my limit order around the 22s here, but keep my stop loss very, very tight here, okay? Very, very tight. I'm not here really willing to hold my trades for too long here. The 22 is an area where we got respected at pretty much the whole session. And then I can put my stop loss around, I think, the 7, okay? So 22 and then 7. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's see. No, I think the 6, sorry, the 6, the 4406 is something I would be looking for, at least to see if I can get into a quick bounce here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that is the idea for my current limit position here at the 22s. And then potentially putting my stop around there, I guess. And then looking to see if it could, you know, look for the pullback, etc. here. But the conclusion is, it's low risk. Trump is speaking. We are still trending downwards, okay? There are a couple of reasons why I'm taking this with a grain of salt here. So I'm not going to risk more than I usually risk. Maybe actually lower. But I do see at least a bounce. But it also means, guys, that I'm not just going to hold my trade forever and hope we're going to just break out here, okay? I'm going to manage my trade very, very tightly, okay? So I could be out quickly if I don't like what I see on the price section, okay? This is something that I cannot teach you. This is something that you will see over time on the stream more and more. But this is something that we have to just, you know, go through it. In different market conditions, we go through it. When we enter, we manage our trade here like we've done beforehand. And I'm kind of going to look at it from that perspective here, okay? So I hope this makes sense so far. This was the top-down breakdown, higher time frame on gold, utilizing our trading system, right? So we have our higher time frame supply and demand, right? We discussed this already. Just want to summarize this. Our order flow. Who is trapped? Where are we now? Do we see buyers, right? Or sellers stepping in? in combination with our daily buys, right? In this case today, we had a clear reaction around where sellers got trapped, and then going to the lower time frame for our volume profile right here, measuring the volume for our right levels and order flow execution using two measurements, the valuation and correlation, right? Valuation meaning undervalued for buys, overvalued for sells in the right context. Okay? I hope this makes sense, guys. This is kind of for today's session. I'm going to keep it like that. Keep in mind, I'm going to keep my risk very tight and my risk very low because the market conditions are screaming choppy, volatile market behavior. Be very cautious with your risk today. I hopefully tomorrow see an unbalanced trading session where we can actually break above or below the daily highs or lows. And then we can actually start finally trading some trending momentum again. On the 5 minutes, some trending behavior. Not ranging, trending. All right? But again, a beautiful lesson, I think, to see how you deal with these situations. The key lesson is, in my opinion, to just not be greedy. Okay? Do not be greedy here in the market. All right, guys. Thank you so much for today's session here. We've been here for around 3 hours and 20 minutes. This is by far our largest stream in episode number 13. You know what I mean? We have our music, we have our analysis, and we get through all these different market conditions together, and we will spot it. Yeah, we get around 1,000 subscribers in this stream, man. Absolutely crazy. 1,000 likes. Absolutely wild. Okay? And around, I can't believe it, man. Around. Almost 27,000 views. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it for everyone in the stream and how you guys are reacting and asking the right questions, messaging me, yo, what about the mentorship and stuff? I've been thinking about some things. I'll come up with some ideas very, very soon. I have some ideas in mind, but for now, just let's keep doing what we're doing here and rock and roll. Okay, let's pop on some music here and let's see what happens with the price section. And I'm looking forward to see you again tomorrow. Okay, same time. 8 a.m. EST. Consistency is key here. Let's stay disciplined and let's move forward. All right? Makes sense to me. Let's freaking go. 8 a.m., yeah? Tomorrow again. Let's get the Trump shit out of the way. And let's get back to work. Haha. All right, baby guys and girls. I wouldn't be the DJ if I wouldn't be the DJ. So let's bring the Bali Beach Club vibes to your home right now and close the stream with the stream or the song that we started with today. And bring you some good vibes at the end of the session.
When the lights get low, so you don't wanna be alone. Say it coming home. I'll be looking for you when I'm time pass by. Still see the look up in your eye. See you wanna try. I'll be looking for you in the night. When the lights get low, so you don't wanna be alone. Say it coming home. I'll be looking for you when I'm time pass by.
One more. See you guys. Peace out. Thank you so much. You guys are the best, yeah? Peace. See you tomorrow.